Thank you for bearing with us tonight in this very crowded room. As long as we're all agreed not to call the fire marshal, we will get through tonight in one piece. If you are here tonight and would like to speak, we have a couple of topics that are eligible for action. If you want to speak on any of those topics this evening, feel welcome to make your way over right now to Wilda Hernandez, sitting on your far right, my far left, City Clerk, and feel welcome to sign up. If you would like to speak on any topic in general that's not necessarily on the agenda, you can do so at the start of the meeting. We just ask you make your way over right now to Wilda Hernandez, City Clerk, to sign up to speak on any topic. I'll give folks a minute to do that. I'm Mayor Mike Estev. I'm joined tonight by Councilmember at-large Dennis Brady, Councilmember District 4 Roxanne DeBumadu, Councilmember at-large Wanda Rogers, Mayor Pro Tem and Councilmember for District 2 Dufour Wolfley, and joining us virtually tonight, Councilmember District 3 Clinton Truesdale. I will invite all those who are able to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Colleagues, do we have any agenda additions, deletions, or amendments tonight? Hearing none. Citizen participation. This is the open citizen participation session. Madam City Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak? Thank you so much. I'm going to start with our County Council member, Mr. Tim Adams. To begin this evening, feel welcome to make your way over to the podium and adjust mics. Good evening, Councilmember Adams.
Different on this side.
Well, welcome back.
It is truly an honor and a privilege to be here this evening. Mayor Estev, Mayor Pro Tem Wolfley, council members, I wanted to come this evening and to the residents as well and wish you all a very good evening. Now, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to provide a brief update on several important investments secured in this year's county budget for the city of Bowie. Now, these investments reflect priorities that city leadership, residents, and community stakeholders have consistently raised, and I am pleased that we were able to deliver meaningful support to projects that will strengthen recreation, economic development, and quality of life throughout Bowie. We secured $350,000 for Allen Pond Park, helping support maintenance needs and improvements to one of the city's most treasured recreational assets, including enhancements to the amphitheater and park grounds. We secured $250,000 for something that the city has been talking about for a long time, and that's about us wanting to have a place where we could swim. So we have acquired $250,000 for a Bowie Aquatic Center feasibility study, an important step forward exploring a multi-generational aquatic facility that can serve residents of all ages. We secured $250,000 towards the development of a new Bowie gymnasium, supporting additional indoor basketball courts and recreational opportunities for youth, families, community organizations. Now, I know we've had some misnomers about what happened with the Bowie ice rink, and we know that when we went into the COVID period, we were able to save over $18 million to secure the financial stability of the city during that time. But I'd like you to know that we secured $1 million to support recreational investments associated with the Bowie Golf Driving Range and the new Bowie Ice Arena, helping expand recreational opportunities and attract visitors from across Prince George's County. In addition to that, we secured an additional $200,000 for strategic planning and a market study for the future of the Bowie Town Center, helping position this important economic hub for long-term success and redevelopment. We also secured $200,000 for strategic planning of underutilized areas, including areas along Racetrack Road and the Church Road property, helping prepare these sites for future investment and economic opportunities. Altogether, these investments represent approximately $2.25 million in county funding for Bowie priorities, demonstrating our commitment to supporting the city's continued growth and success. I want to thank Acting City Manager Daniel Mears, Mayor Michael Esteve, the members of the Bowie City Council, city staff, and most importantly, the residents, for their partnership and advocacy throughout this process. Thank you very much.
County Council Member Adams, with a presentation like that, I think we're going to have you back every week. We're really grateful to you, sir, and for your service on the County Council. We miss you up here, but we're grateful that you're still in the community, still representing us and delivering for Bowie. Thank you, sir.
Right, thank you very much.
Have a good evening, sir. All right, next speaker, I need you to top that. Ann Fleming.
Hello, thank you. I'm Ann Fleming. I am here as a lifelong resident of Bowie. Went to Kenilworth, Tasker, and Bowie High School. Graduated from UMD, so hometown girl. And I'm a teacher here at Tasker, but I'm here tonight representing PFLAG Bowie as one of their board members, and I'm here with another of our board members.
My name is Preston Thomas III.
So you want to tell them about PFLAG?
Yeah, so PFLAG is the only chapter of PFLAG in PG County. PFLAG is a national organization with over 400 chapters throughout the country. We're the first in PG County, and as I said, the only one to service Bowie in PG County. PFLAG's been around since about 1973. What we do here is provide monthly support meetings for families, friends, and those who are allied or want to be allied with the LGBTQ community. Additionally, we are at different type of events, like this past Saturday, we're at the PGC 250 event. I saw some of you all there, where we gave out free education materials, and we are looking to service the city and service the county in a broader state.
So we're trying to support our local families as they come to understand their, usually their children better, but sometimes their parents too. So research shows that in a Gallup poll in 2024, that 23% of our Gen Z population identify in the LGBTQ community. The Trevor Project has been gathering data for decades, starting with our suicide hotline. But they have identified Maryland LGBTQ youth as 40% having considered suicide, and 57% experiencing anxiety, and 48% experiencing depression. So these are some tough statistics, and not just the emotional turmoil that can happen within a family as they're coming to terms with someone's new understanding of their identity, but also the whole country is having more and more laws that are anti-LGBTQ. ACLU is tracking 529 anti-LGBTQ laws right now. So we would love for Bowie to send a signal to the community that we are a welcoming and a safe community for families who have a loved one in the LGBTQ community. We have both received phone calls from people outside of Maryland who are looking to move here because they can see we have laws that are protective and supporting, and they can get access to medical care in Maryland where they can't in other places. So there's an increasing amount of people who are moving to states that do have favorable laws, and Maryland does. So we just want to make sure that everyone knows they're welcome here in Bowie. So what we'd like to ask is for the city to raise a pride flag. So today is June 1st, so kicking off Pride Month. And I know there's some technical issues with raising a flag. Are we going to put 2 on 1 pole, or we're going to add a whole nother pole? And I know if you raise the pride flag that there's a lot of other groups that might like to have their flags raised too. There's a Juneteenth flag, there's the POW/MIA flag. So perhaps a third flagpole might be appropriate for that, but we would love to support that endeavor at PFLAG Bowie, and so we just ask that you keep that in mind in your budgetary planning. The 2 flags and 1 flagpole is, of course, the cheaper option, but a nice long-term option might be a third flagpole. So we appreciate your consideration of that request.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up. That's all we have for public participation this evening in the open session. I'm going to move us on to presentations. I know we have some folks tonight who are going to kick us off with the Arts and Education College Scholarship Awards, and I will invite those presenters to come up front and take it from here.
Good evening, everyone. It is truly a joy to stand before you today as we celebrate our 2 remarkable young artists, Cameron Best and Shania Brown, recipients of the City of Bowie Arts Scholarship. Cameron and Shania, tonight is more than a recognition of your talent, it is a recognition of your future. The future to create, to express, and to pursue paths that will require both discipline and imagination. Cameron, your passion for musical theater, film, animation reflects a true storyteller's spirit. You bring stories to life across stage and screen, inviting us into new worlds and perspectives. We're excited to see how your creativity will continue to grow and inspire. Shania, your artistry is burgeoning and uniquely you. You will find a way to bring ideas to life that will draw people in and make them feel something real. As you step into the world of art studio, we can't wait to see how your voice evolves and leaves its mark. To both of you, this scholarship is not just an award, it's an investment into your potential, your vision, your future contributions to the arts. The City of Bowie believes in you, and we are proud to support you as you take this next step. As you continue your journeys, remember this: your art matters, your voice matters, and the stories you tell have the power to connect, to heal, and inspire. We celebrate you today, and we look forward to applauding you again in the years to come as your careers flourish. So first, we would like to bring up Cameron Best. He will be going to Rochester Institute of Technology on the behalf. Yes, you can use this one.
Hello.
Do you have any brief remarks?
Oh, yeah, I have a speech.
Okay, look at this.
All right. Hello, my name is Cameron Best, and I am a senior at St. Andrew's Episcopal School. I would like to sincerely thank the Scholarship Committee and the City of Bowie. I'm incredibly grateful for this award as it plays an important role in supporting my future education and goals. It has been a privilege growing up in an area with a dedicated arts community, which has allowed me to enjoy shows at the Bowie Playhouse and Bowie Performing Arts Center. As I begin college this fall at Rochester Institute of Technology, I plan to pursue film, television, and acting, fields that are not only creatively demanding, but can also be mentally, emotionally, and financially taxing, especially for Black Americans working to establish themselves in the industry. This scholarship will help me relieve some of that burden and allows me to focus fully on growing my skills, gaining experience, and investing in my craft. Your generosity means a great deal to me, and I truly appreciate your belief in my potential as I continue on this path. Thank you.
Usually there's a photographer on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next, we would like to recognize Shania Brown. She will be attending McDaniel College in the fall. Shania?
Hello, everyone. My name is Shania. I am a graduate of Bowie High School, class of 2026. I have a 3.8 GPA, and I have been accepted to McDaniels College, where I plan to pursue a degree in art studio. A little bit about me. I currently work at Harris Teeters and come from a family with 3 brothers and 1 sister. In my free time, I enjoy baking, reading, listening to music, and playing tennis. Mostly of all, I love drawing, which has inspired me to pursue my dream of studying in art studio. I am excited about the opportunities ahead, looking forward to continue my education in developing my artistic talents. I am truly grateful to have been selected by the City of Bowie for this scholarship. Their support will help me move forward in achieving my educational goals. I would also like to thank my Nana for telling me about this scholarship opportunity. Her encouragement and support have meant so much to me throughout this process. Thank you for investing in my future and helping me take the next step towards my dreams.
Thank you so much. So now we will hear from the City of Bowie Education Committee as they give out the Excellence in Education Awards.
Good evening to the mayor, members of the city council, guests, and scholars. I am Alethea Smalls, member of the Education Committee for the city of Bowie. I'd like to introduce Addie Canoe, who's helping me to present. I would also like to recognize the chair of the Education Committee, Dr. Kalichi Fluid. The city of Bowie provides excellence in education scholarships yearly to qualified graduating high school seniors. In addition, the city of Bowie also recognizes our dedicated educators who tirelessly serve to improve the lives of our students and thereby improve the lives of our community. This evening, on behalf of the city of Bowie, I'm honored to present to you our deserving scholars and committed educators. To our scholarship awardees, as I call your names, please come up and receive your certificate and award check. We also ask that you remain at the podium off to the side and tell the audience a little bit about your plans. We're also going to do a photo op. Okay. Our first recipient is Mr. DeMarcus Barnes. DeMarcus will be attending Washington Adventist University for the fall 2026 semester. DeMarcus.
First things first, good evening, everyone. How y'all doing? I would like to thank the committee for selecting me, my parents for the support, and I would like to thank Bowie High School for the guidance and support they gave me throughout my 4 years of attending. For years, I have attended school and community events in Bowie. I value giving back to the community through service projects, feeding the homeless, working in soup kitchens, Bowie June 10th, marathons, reading to students, events, and for the veterans, etc. Giving back to the community is very important to me. I really dedicate everything Bowie has given to me throughout my whole years and everything, supported me throughout my journey for athletics and academic career. All the friends I met through, all the friends I have met, all the adults that have put the time and effort into me, knowing they have potential in me to where I am now, and that when I finish college, earning my degree in kinesiology, I'll open my physical therapy clinic, give back to the communities for the older generation to make them have a wealthy, healthy life so they won't wake up with no more aches, pains, don't have to worry about wearing certain shoes. They will be healthy as possible under my guidance. Thank you.
Thank you, DeMarcus. Our next recipient, Ms. Madison Bridges. Madison will be attending the University of Delaware for the fall 2026 semester.
Good evening, City of Bowie Mayor, council members, family members, guests, and of course my fellow awardees. My name is Madison Bridges, and I'm truly so grateful and honored to be standing before you as one of the recipients of the City of Bowie Excellence in Education Scholarship. I feel like I have so many big goals and aspirations for my future post high school, and I know having received an award like this, I will be truly supported through every step of the way. So a little bit more about me and my goals. Going into college, I plan to study marine science and policy as a major at the University of Delaware. And then I also would like to participate in their scuba diving program, where I will hopefully be able to learn all of the skills required to then go on to become an AAUS, which stands for American Academy of Underwater Sciences, Certified Professional Scientific Diver. And that's because as a future career, I would like to become a professional coral conservationist, as well as scientific diver, basically traveling the world, collecting data regarding issues such as coral bleaching, and then also carrying out experiments on some type of research vessel. And so kind of like my ultimate goal in all the work I plan to do in college and post-college is really to just bring awareness to the vital role that coral reefs play in the balance of marine ecosystems worldwide, and then also to kind of demonstrate the effort and the work that is needed to better protect them moving forward. And so I know a scholarship like this will truly assist me, not only by financially providing me the support to, work on more advanced technologies and more advanced laboratories, more advanced experiments, but also by just allowing me the opportunity to explore even more and really open doors for more research opportunities such as study abroad, and just the list goes on. So again, thank you so much, and I'm truly grateful to be standing before you today.
Our next awardee is Camila Castro. Camila will be attending the University of Maryland College Park for the fall 2026 semester.
Good evening. My name is Camila Castro, and I first want to thank the City of Bowie and the Scholarship Committee for giving me this opportunity. My aspiration is to become a lawyer and use my voice to advocate for others. For as long as I can remember, I have been interested in law because of its ability to create change and protect the rights of individuals and communities. Throughout high school, I have worked to develop the skills necessary to pursue that goal. Experiences such as the We the People competition and mock trial have strengthened my public speaking, critical thinking, and confidence, while also showing me the importance of teamwork. As a daughter of immigrants, I have seen firsthand the sacrifices that come with pursuing a better future. Their long hours of work and dedication have provided me with opportunities they have never had, and their perseverance motivates me to work hard every day. This fall, I will attend the University of Maryland as a government and politics major in the University Honors Program. I plan to continue building my leadership and advocacy skills while preparing for a future in law. Receiving the scholarship will help ease the financial burden of college on my family and allow me to focus more fully on my education and opportunities that will help me grow. More importantly, it would represent an investment in my future and the values of hard work, service, and perseverance that my parents have taught me. I am committed to using my education to make a positive impact in not only my community, but beyond that. Thank you.
Our next award recipient is Aubrey Epps. And Aubrey will be attending Louisiana State University for the fall 2026 semester.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aubrey Epps, and I graduated from Our Lady of Good Counsel High School. This fall, I'll be attending LSU in their Ogden Honors College, majoring in pre-nursing, where I hope to become a nurse anesthetist. I just want to briefly express my gratitude to the city and the scholarship committee for giving me the opportunity to apply for the scholarship and for the award itself. I worked very hard, and I'm just very honored that my hard work has paid off and that I'm able to accept this award here in person. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who played a role in me standing here today.
Our next recipient is Jalen Good. And Jalen will be attending Ithaca College for the fall.
Hello, everyone. As you heard, my name is Jalen Good, and I'll be attending Ithaca College this next coming year. I just graduated from DeMatha Catholic High School, if any of you know that. Go Stags. At Ithaca, I'll be joining their clarinet studio, as well as trying to further my leadership skills in their communications program. My whole 4 years of high school, I've been a devoted member of my wind ensemble, my band. I made All-State this year in Maryland, and so I want to continue my clarinet studies here at Ithaca.
Our next recipient is John Martin. And John will be attending Catholic University of America for the fall.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Ever since I took a summer workshop at Catholic UNDC, it's been my dream to go there for college. Between the beautiful and active campus and the highly lauded chemistry program, it became the perfect place for me to begin my journey as an adult to receive a quality education in my intended major. The only hindrance was the cost. Thanks to your generous gift, you have helped give me a firm foundation under my feet to commence my education with a high level of quality and to give my career with a sure footing, in addition to allowing me to remain close to the support I need to begin this next phase of life. Finally, it is my future aspiration to continue to thrive and serve in this community after my education by finding career opportunities in the area, which attending nearby university greatly aids by allowing me early access points to those institutions. The blessings of attending university, which keeps close ties with such science-oriented places as Goddard Space Center, cannot be stressed enough. However, none of what I have mentioned could even be dreamt of as it is without such aid as you have given me. Once again, thank you, and I wish you all a great night.
Next, we have David Stanley. David will be attending the University of Maryland in the fall.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Stanley, and I am thrilled to speak in front of you tonight and have the honor of receiving the Bowie Education Scholarship. I'm pleased to announce that I will be studying mechanical engineering with a minor in business in the fall at the University of Maryland, College Park. My passion for engineering started when I was a kid, when I would take apart my toys to find their inner workings or build robots in my room. With me receiving the scholarship, I will be able to participate in the engineering living and learning community I was accepted into that supports engineers both academically and socially. After UMD, I want to attend graduate school to pursue my career aspirations of work in defense for the United States. I want to be a pioneer in engineering, working with mechatronics, nanotechnology, and automation, not only to benefit communities in everyday life, but also to protect our nation. I want to thank everyone on the Bowie City Council, the people on the scholarship board, and the citizens of Bowie for supporting me and my education at the University of Maryland.
Our next recipient is Ms. Ava Rice. Ava will be attending Towson University in the fall.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to thank the Scholarship Committee and the City of Bowie for this opportunity. My name is Ava Rice, a graduate from Bowie High School. I will be attending Towson University as an honor student to pursue speech-language pathology and audiology. I know that this scholarship will provide me with the drive to keep going no matter how hard the journey gets. Thank you.
Okay, Shania and Cameron, please join us so that we can get this photo op.
If I can have the council members join. You can squeeze on in with the
Just make sure
council
you get
members.
Councilmember Brady over there.
Yep. Got it. All right, so if you want to squeeze on in just a little bit. Yep. Yeah, so we can get two council members on the end. Yep, sure. Yep. Yep, that's perfect. Okay, all right. Yep. All right, council member.
We got to scrunch it.
Yep, so squeeze on in. Yep. Everybody beautiful. Perfect. Okay, thank you. Congratulations. Make sure you have a scholarship already noticed that. And there's feedback.
We're going to ask the scholarship recipients to please remain until the end of the presentation. We do have some other goodies to share with you. All right. Now we will present the Excellence in Education Educator Awards. Our first recipient is Carletta Berrio from Whitehall Elementary. Oh, and there's a check as well. Our next recipient is Andrea Carswell. From Samuel Ogle Middle School. Next we have Rhonda Cipolla. from High Branch Elementary. Next is Hirson Quellar. And if I said that incorrectly, please forgive me. Cuellar. Thank you for that. Yorktown Elementary. Lysandra Davis from Heather Hills Elementary. Gayatri Gola from Rockledge Elementary. You're smiling like I butchered it. Please.
What?
Please say your name.
Gayatri Gola. You said it right.
Oh, okay. Dana Green, Samuel Ogle Middle School. Lacia Hickerson, Pointer Ridge Elementary. Sandra Jones, Heather Hills Elementary. Felix Berto Lazaro. From C. Elizabeth Reed Regional. Brad Leonard from Grace Christian. Joseph Leotino from Kenilworth Elementary. Nancy Nettle from Grace Christian. Wesley Pearson from C. Elizabeth Reed Regional. Sheila Phillips, Porter Ridge Elementary. Vanessa Reyes, Yorktown Elementary. Renee Sands, Whitehall Elementary. Patricia Scalise, Kenilworth Elementary. Deidre Tasco, High Bridge Elementary. And Wendy Vallejo, Rockledge Elementary. And I'd just like to add that in the run of show, the interesting thing for me is to read their favorite phrases. And I'm going to end it with one of the favorite phrases, which says, "Big things start with small, brave steps." Thank you.
And can we do 2 rows? Yeah. Can we stagger 2 rows? Maybe those tallest in the back. And if you want to do shoulder to shoulder.
Brad, go by Nancy. All right, there you go, there you go. All right, make this easier.
Oh, wow, okay, I'll wait until family is done. No, I didn't mention anybody. After family's finished taking pictures, can you guys just hold for a second so we can get a picture for the council? Okay. All right, yep, I'm gonna move so family can do their thing. Once family's taking their pictures, if you guys can move back so we can get a picture for the council. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Councilmember Rogers, if you want to scoot in just a little. Yep. All right. Okay.
Let's see, oh, sorry, let me see if I can see everybody. Okay.
Thank you.
If I could have. Only things I can't see. Hi. Only things I don't have. There we go. Okay, awesome. Sorry. Okay. Just want one more. Okay, thank you. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank y'all.
Congratulations to all the awardees tonight. I'll invite awardees and their families to make their way out to the atrium.
Is that something you assume?
All right, folks, moving along. City staff confirming we don't have any city boards or committees tonight.
Correct.
I will move us along to council announcements. Do we have any council announcements this evening? Seeing none, I'll simply extend my thank you to the Bowie Library, city personnel, Anacostia Trails, and many others for organizing the 250th block party on Saturday. Big appreciation to city personnel who supported and overall had a very pleasant weekend with good weather. Councilmember Brady.
Well, along that lines, I want to commend those staff as well as the volunteers that put on the Memorial Day service on Memorial Day. It was, as always, it was very humbling to be there in order to recognize and honor the memory of those that gave their lives to preserve our freedoms that we enjoy today. It was a very moving ceremony, and I was glad to be there.
Amen. Moving us on to City Manager's Report. Anything this evening, Mr. Mears?
In light of a few presentations, I'll skip this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have a consent agenda this evening. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Consent agenda approved. No old business tonight. Moving us along to new business. I'll invite us to begin with the Maryland Women's Business Center update. Shall we begin with staff for a quick introduction? Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the record, John Henry King, Economic Development Director. We have with us tonight Ms. Karen Sippel, who is the Executive Director of the Maryland Women's Business Center. The city has partnered with the Maryland Women's Business Center for several years now, initially with their counseling presence at the incubator and here at City Hall, and in the last year, with funding to allow them to open the Maryland Women's Business Center Shop Local Bowie store at Bowie Town Center. We hope to continue that funding through the approved budget in the coming year, but tonight, Ms. Sippel will give you an update on what the Women's Business Center has been up to here in Bowie and in general throughout the state. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Mr. King. Welcome tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, thank you so much for having me. Again, my name is Karen Sippel. Mr. King gave me a little bit of promotion. I'm the managing director of the Maryland Women's Business Center. Do we have our slides? John?
They're coming up.
All right. I do have some slides, so I'll give it a second for those to come up. Thank you. Okay, great. So as you can see here on the slides, hard to believe it, but we have been in partnership with the City of Bowie for 9 years. I can't personally take credit for that. A lot of that goes to my predecessors. But we have deepened our work and our partnership with the City of Bowie over those 9 years. I do want to say that this is personally meaningful for me. I grew up in Pointer Ridge. And I lived there for the first 18 years of my life. My parents still live in Bowie, so Bowie will always be home to me. So when I had the opportunity to come here to the Maryland Women's Business Center and knew that they had such a long partnership with the City of Bowie, that was just instantly meaningful. I do want to thank a couple people who are here today. One is our advisory board member, Claudia Yates. She is the COO and head of marketing at Shear Partners, a commercial real estate firm here in Maryland. And also Dahlia Joseph, who is our program manager here in Bowie most days, and she is integral to the work that we do on behalf of Bowie residents. I also want to acknowledge that the SBA and Rockville, I apologize if this is a little bit fuzzy, our picture, but the SBA is a key supporter of ours. We are partially funded by a cooperative agreement with the SBA, as well as Rockville Economic Development, which is our host organization. That's more clear. Perfect. So as I mentioned, MWBC is a program hosted by Ready. What you can see here, just to kind of orient yourself with us, the folks that are in red on kind of the right-hand side of your screen, they focus on economic development within the city of Rockville. The folks that are in blue on the left-hand side, this is the team that operates the Maryland Women's Business Center. So myself, Dahlia, who I mentioned, our other program manager, Martha, who handles other jurisdictions, and we have 3 consultants who serve our clients that we work with every day. So the Maryland Women's Business Center is, for those of you who are not as familiar with us, but I know that all the council members are, we're a nonprofit program that works with entrepreneurs and small business owners to start, sustain, and grow their businesses throughout Maryland. We serve 1,500 entrepreneurs annually. We work with men and women. And we do this really through 5 key services. The first is through training classes and workshops, both online and in person. We do one-on-one technical assistance, or in layman's terms, business counseling services. We also provide incubators and cohorts. And we provide a network of resource partners, as well as connect business owners with capital. These are just some of the members of our advisory board. We're really guided and supported by this outstanding group that spans industries and functional areas of expertise. Everybody here on this slide has an impact at MWBC, but I'll just call out a few examples for you all. First of all, starting with Nancy Regelin, she's our advisory board chair. She's also the chair of Ready's board of directors, and she brings legal expertise to both of our organizations. Mayor Monique Ashton, the mayor of the city of Rockville, she ensures that we have the best interests of all of our constituents at the heart of everything that we do. Tamika Montgomery, she's critical as we start to plan for a multi-year vision and then a strategy to help us get there. I would be remiss to say, Claudia's title and affiliation is incorrect on these slides, as I mentioned when I introduced her. She is COO and SVP of Marketing at Shear Partners. So we are headquartered in Rockville, and we serve small business owners throughout 4 counties. Here in Prince George's County, we started at the Bowie BIC, and June is here as well. Yes. We started our services housed at the Bowie BIC at Bowie State University, and we're so grateful to June and her team for giving us a home for the first couple of years of our existence here in Bowie. As we expanded our footprint in Bowie, thanks in very large part to this body, we had the opportunity to open our retail incubator in Bowie Town Center, where just about a year ago we decided to relocate our office to the incubator, and partially motivated by a need for us to be as accessible as possible to clients. So there, the store is open for longer hours, and then we also have hours that we keep right here in City Hall upstairs. So I want to dive in for a moment just about some of the core services that we provide to city residents, as well as entrepreneurs throughout the larger service area that we work with. One of those main services that we offer is one-on-one free counseling services to businesses within the counties that we serve. So in order to take advantage of business counseling, you must be located in one of those 4 counties. We work with businesses of all stages, from the very, very beginning, the ideation phase, where people are trying to figure out, is this idea a viable business idea, all the way to those who are looking to grow and scale, take investment, take on a loan, things like that. All of our counselors are incredibly well-versed at business ownership. They're all Growth Wheel certified, which is a framework that business advisors use around the world to help provide a really structured system to help business owners to navigate all the intricacies as they grow their businesses. One of the other key services that we offer are trainings, events, and workshops. So we host educational trainings and workshops both online and in person throughout the year. They're open to everybody. no matter where you're located. So we will regularly have people registering for our events from even outside of Maryland. Sometimes we find somebody from a different country. And the ability, obviously, to offer those sessions online makes those resources so easily available to people. The majority of our service of these sessions are available free of charge. We do teach some of those ourselves, but for the most part, we go out and we look for experts who can teach on a variety of topics. There is always something new that we're offering every month. There are some topics that we offer perennially because entrepreneurs, there's a lot of evergreen challenges that come up for entrepreneurs, and so there are some that we offer every quarter, and there are others that we're always looking for kind of the latest topics that are really top of mind for entrepreneurs. So we'll always offer things about procurement and marketing and bookkeeping, but you'll see more about AI and things like that as the world evolves. So we know that virtual events work really well for a lot of people, but we also know that nothing quite replaces the magic of in-person learning and that community building that can happen. So we do a number of in-person workshops and events. The photo actually from this event is taken from right here at the Senior Center. Some of you might recognize that building or that stage. And so that's actually from an event that we hosted, an all-day boot camp that we held last summer, which I'll talk about a little bit more. This was specifically to help laid-off federal workers to pivot to entrepreneurship. So I want to dive a little bit into metrics. So when you think about the services that I just talked about, this is how this plays out right here in the city of Bowie, and then I'll zoom out a little bit into all of Prince George's County. So thus far in FY26, MWBC has served 67 unique businesses in the city of Bowie, and the majority of those are minority-owned businesses. About half of these clients receive services from us through those one-on-one counseling sessions, and about half of them receive services from us from those group training classes and workshops. On average, every counseling client received 1.75 counseling sessions, which essentially means that some of them received more than two, and some of them received just one. But I think that what that really shows is that for the majority of people, it takes more than a single session to help them solve a problem. Now, some of them are outliers, and they do come back month after month. We have kind of repeat flyers, and for those who really get a lot of value out of those one-on-one sessions, they will get some homework from us. They'll go off, and they'll ideally achieve those homeworks, hit some more milestones. They'll come back in a couple of months. We'll meet again, and we keep going. So through some of these engagements, it also resulted in 3 business starts, 85 jobs supported, and $11,000 in capital infusion. Now, I will say this, that some of these metrics are a little bit more difficult to track. Things like business starts and capital infusion transactions, they require us to have that follow-up meeting so that we can gather the information from them, or it requires them responding to a business survey. We do put out a biannual business survey, and we know how much all of us love to click on surveys and actually respond to them. And so some of these numbers, I would guess, are a little bit lower than the reality, which is something that is in our future plans of how do we collect better data. And then if we zoom out a little bit on all of Prince George's County, you can see here, and I should say that our work that we do on behalf of the rest of the county, this is funded through our SBA funding. Now, I should also say that the Bowie numbers are included in the Prince George's County numbers that you see here. So for instance, 67 unique Bowie clients, and then on top of that, 177 unique clients outside of the city of Bowie. But just to give you a snapshot of what things look like when we zoom out to all of Prince George's County. And then I thought it would actually be kind of interesting to take a look at what does it look like when we look at all 9 years that we've worked with you all. And so, obviously we started out, when you first start out as a new partner, things don't ramp, things kind of ramp up from there. But when we look at the past 9 years, we've served 310 unique clients, including 260 minority-owned businesses and 11 veteran-owned businesses. Almost 800 counseling sessions, more than 300 training classes and workshops, and I'll skip ahead here, and about $500,000 in capital infusion transactions. And just because I was getting really interested in the numbers and seeing what this looked like, I zoomed out even further and did Prince George's County for, again, those 7 years. And some of these numbers get really impressive. And you can see here that, for instance, if you skip ahead to the capital infusion, almost more than 3.6 million. We certainly had a handful of very successful entrepreneurs that we worked with before my time here that really kind of took off. But you can see here that we've invested a lot of time and resources serving not just the residents of Bowie, but also Prince George's County. We are here to support all types of businesses across a range of industries. All right, I'm going to dive back into our core services. Now, I know a lot of you are very familiar with our retail incubator that we have at Bowie Town Center. This incubator began in 2019, in 2019 in the city of Rockville. The focus of this enables retail business owners to really accelerate their businesses. And for those who might have started out at a farmer's market or an artisan market, for many of them, it's an opportunity to have a retail business for the first time, a permanent location where people know that they can find them 7 days a week. Through our program, our participants receive the storefront experience. They work with our business advisors and counselors on a one-on-one basis. And they receive business education training, so that's specifically targeted towards building a retail, e-commerce, and wholesale business. And for those of you who recognize it, these photos are from our first cohort that was here in Bowie at our opening event. So we had our ribbon cutting event on June 11th. I know several of you were there. Since that time, we've incubated 17 small businesses right there in that store, and together they've generated nearly $130,000 in revenue. Now, we don't take a cut of that revenue at all. All of that belongs to them. We charge a small monthly fee that basically offsets utilities and things like that. 80% of our incubator participants reported to us that they've increased their sales since they've joined Shop Local, and all of them have increased their knowledge about what it takes to operate a retail location. Now, many of the original businesses have opted to extend their incubation time with us. One of the things that we've kind of absorbed over the years of running Shop Local is that building a business and incubation is not a linear process, and the experience is not the same for everyone. And so we do give the opportunity for individuals to essentially apply to stay longer. They talk with us about what are the goals and the milestones that you want to accomplish, and we make sure that we're aligned with those and that we're set up to really help them to achieve those. So we included a quote here from Stephanie, who's been with us in the Bowie store from the beginning. And like others, Stephanie here, like others that are in the cohort, she talks about how this opportunity has given her a chance to test new products, to get customer feedback, and to really expand her skill set in kind of a safer way, in a lower consequence kind of way, and also in a way where she builds community, because entrepreneurship, as a lot of us know, is a really lonely business, and being there in a store with several others who are going through similar business challenges at the same time is really helpful. Now, we are going to be hosting our one-year anniversary event on July 17th. Hopefully, each of you has received an invitation already. We're really looking forward to seeing many of you there if you can come. All right. The other program that I wanted to mention here, so this is, again, one of our cohorts, Shop Local, our retail incubator. Founders Rising is one of our cohort-based learning programs. I don't have to tell each of you that Maryland has suffered a lot in the last year. We've lost 25,000 federal jobs. And like other organizations, we swung into action when we saw that, okay, there are a lot of folks out there who can't find new jobs, and a lot of them are turning to entrepreneurship. So last winter, we launched this program really designed to help displaced federal workers and federal contractors who are considering entrepreneurship to really build foundational knowledge, not to jump off that cliff unprepared. So we launched this program as an 8-week capacity building business accelerator. It's geared towards individuals who are either aspiring entrepreneurs, just have an idea, and that's it. But we also included individuals who are very early stage. But we didn't want to go further than that because the lessons that we teach are very foundational. And we didn't want people to be too far along in their businesses and then be frustrated that we're talking about some very foundational basic knowledge around what it means to start a business. And we're also talking about federal workers who are used to having systems and infrastructure, and then all of a sudden it's you. And you're here trying to build a business on your own. And that's when this sense of community and being part of a cohort really helped these individuals so they understood they weren't alone. They have resources like us and many other organizations that they had no idea were out there that were there to help them start and start successfully. So the key elements of this program are live sessions that are taught by experts. We developed a curriculum and then we recruited experts to come and teach for us. We have homework assignments that help them to build a business plan step by step. We do one-on-one business counseling sessions with everybody, but I will tell you that the magic was really in the community building. And I'll say that a lot of this really started here in Bowie, and then we also did a second one of these boot camps last summer in Rockville. When we did this session at the senior center, we were overwhelmed by the need, by the amount of talent that was in that room, but also just the drive and the passion that they had to start a business. And we knew that we needed to help channel their energy into being really productive, successful businesses right from the start. So we spent the next couple of months building the program components. We secured expert instructors, and we launched a 2-week application period. We purposely kept that really short, and in 2 weeks we had 50 applications, over 50 applications for 20 spots. Some of the key requirements, I mentioned this already, entrepreneurs in the very early stage, we are industry agnostic, and one of the rules was you have to have lost your job since January of 2025. So we launched this program just before the winter holidays. We knew it couldn't wait until after that. And so I wanted to share a little bit with you specifically about the impact here in Bowie. We did have a total participants of 20. 5 of those were from Prince George's County, and 3 of them were from right here in Bowie. I will say there's a 4th who technically lives outside the boundaries. She thinks she lives in Bowie. She identifies as living in Bowie, but you know how that works. So, this first cohort, they just blew us away with their talent, their commitment, and above all else, their openness to learn and to collaborate with each other. So let's talk about impact. Let's see. So I talked already about the number of participants. We really couldn't ask for better business outcomes than what we're sharing with you today. This is all coming from our post-program survey. And just knowing that that the vast majority of these individuals came away with, they have a clearer business concept and idea and what they're going to launch with. Some of them actually changed what their business was going to be after they'd gone through these sessions with us and said, maybe that wasn't actually as good of an idea as I thought it was. Majority of them, they identified their target market. Majority of them, 68% of them, completed a full business plan by the end, and 68% also built a professional peer network. That's where that sense of community really came into play. And then, I think what the program satisfaction rates tell us is that we really built the right program for the right time. And we're continuing to see that as we look at launching our second cohort, which I'll talk about in a second. I just wanted to include a couple of testimonials from some of our Bowie residents. This is a photo of our graduates when they on their graduation day. 19 out of 20 successfully completed the program, and I will tell you, I feel like this group is bonded for life. Just today, they've been blowing up my phone on their WhatsApp group, commiserating with those that are having a rough day and celebrating with those who, hit a milestone. And those milestones can be big, and those milestones most of the time are small. But knowing that they have 19 other people to go to be supportive of them, I think has made all the difference. I think it's this enthusiasm and this ongoing enthusiasm. These folks graduated back in February? They graduated in February. They are still talking to each other every day. They are asking to volunteer with us for the next cohort, to be a mentor, whatever they can do to help the next group be successful. And I think it's this enthusiasm that's really going to pay dividends as we prepare to launch the application for the second cohort. I do want to say thanks to the City of Bowie that is providing some funding to allow us to launch the second cohort, as well as one of our county funders. We are preparing to launch our application cycle later this month, in just a few weeks. We are actually hosting an information session on July 8th is our annual women's conference. It's a one-day event called Empower. We do this during Women's History Month in March. We tend to feature 25 to over 30 businesses and resource partners that are in our exhibit hall. We have keynote speakers and panel discussions, learning opportunities, and networking. In our most recent Empower that we held back in March, we also included a pitch competition where we had 5 finalists from our Founders Rising cohort who pitched live to a panelist of judges. I will say that one of our Bowie residents was part of those finalists. She didn't walk away winning all of it, but she did walk away with some Kickstart funding. So we're really proud of her. And then just looking forward to FY27, what we're doing, we're really focusing on strengthening our base. And so what that looks like here is continuing to add new businesses to Shop Local while we continue to incubate those who are interested in staying. We also are interested in exploring how we can actually better serve and really create a sense of place at our store for any entrepreneur who's interested in accessing our services. And so looking at how do we have space in our store. For those of you who've been in there, you see that we have space in the back area of our store where we have workshop tables and things like that. And we're interested in exploring how can we turn that into more of a community resource hub for those who are interested in building businesses. As I mentioned, we are planning to launch the second cohort of Founders Rising. Definitely looking forward to serving Bowie residents in that cohort. And interested in establishing and deepening ties with local partners. And then, of course, continuing to serve residents with our trainings, classes, workshops, and individual counseling services. And that's all from me today. Thank you so much for having me. Do you all have any questions for me?
Do we have any questions for Ms. Sipple? Looking to my left. Seeing none so far. On my right. Councilmember Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a couple of questions. Thank you very much for the presentation. When you talk about your relatively speaking.
That's a great question. I don't have those numbers off the tip of my tongue, tip of my brain, but I'm happy to follow up with you. I think that it would, in terms of the ratio, do you mean, or the exact numbers?
In terms of ratio and any type of outcomes that you measure?
Sure. I'd say the ratio is pretty similar. So City of Bowie versus Prince George's County, City of Rockville versus Montgomery County, pretty similar. I'm happy to get back to you specifically, but if I had to guess, I think that the Bowie numbers might be a little bit better, actually.
Okay. All right. So now my next question is, so where does the graduating cohort go next? Not only for this group, but for your groups in general, what happens next?
Yeah, absolutely. So the history of Shop Local is that typically a few of them will be interested in opening their own storefront. And so it is an outcome, but is not the only outcome. So those, for instance, there are about 6, I believe, but again, I can get back to you with specific numbers from years past in Rockville that have then signed their own commercial leases. Some of them are actually still in Rockville Town Square, which is where our Rockville store is. There are some who have opened up their own store literally right down the street. For a lot of these folks, though, doing Shop Local is very much a litmus test of, do I want to be a shopkeeper? Does my business actually thrive in this way? Or is my business really better suited for e-commerce? or to be sold wholesale. And so, while certainly a positive outcome is that that we're creating additional shopkeepers and they're signing their own leases, another positive outcome from the business standpoint is that they might decide on their own that actually, instead of going this direction to opening my own store, I really want to lean more into e-commerce, and I have this incredible Shopify, store that I've created and I've been able to really grow while I've been doing this. So success is not necessarily one direction. There might be several.
There was one entrepreneur here in Bowie who was selling dog treats, and she was the one that made the determination, this is not the spot for me because people don't come in here looking for dog treats. So she was looking at e-commerce solution. I know that she was talking to June at the BIC a bit about that. So I was just kind of curious, and that's good information.
So specifically to that case, and she's fantastic, and she still works, she still consults with it, kind of does counseling with us all the time. She actually, although she left the cohort a little bit earlier than she intended, we invited her to stay in the learning portion, and she is passionate about the learning. She comes every month, does our live sessions with us, is really vocal, ask lots of questions of our experts. And so with her, the reason that she actually decided not to stay was that she had a very limited product run. And she says, gosh, I can't really fill up this space with just having 2 or 3 products. And so one of the things that strategically she decided was, I need to step back and really work on diversifying my product line, and I can't do that while I'm also trying to make this kind of in-person retail aspect work. And so, again, success looks differently for each business. So that while that wasn't necessarily a traditional success, I'm so glad that she realized that in kind of a low stakes kind of way financially, a low stakes kind of way for her, so that she didn't sign her life away and then realize, oh no, I'm not ready for this.
Understood. And this is my last question.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I notice, and I go there at least once every couple weeks because I get tea and stuff. I'm there. One of the things that has been said to me by other customers is that we didn't know this was here. We don't know what MWBC means. And if there was something that told us this was somewhere that I could come into a boutique or something and get, various products, I'd be more inclined to come in there, better marketing and things of that sort. What are your thoughts about that, around that? Do you have the same thing in Rockville as well? I don't know. This is a hot spot for the group here in Bowie because they're right outside of Macy's, and between Macy's and the shoe store, a lot of people spend a lot of time in that direction. I know I do. So, what else had you run into this situation in Rockville, and is there other things that can be proposed to help with that? And that's my last question.
Absolutely. No, I think your observations and what you've heard from other customers is right on target. And the name MWBC, Shop Local, it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. And I do agree, people don't know what MWBC means. We actually have a consultant who has been working with us for the last month or two to really take a hard look at every aspect of the Shop Local program. It's been in existence for about 6 years. And I think we all agree it's time. It's time to look at the strategy. It's time to look at everything, the branding, the name, the marketing, the model, how everything works. It's difficult to have people who might have a full-time job and what they do here is on the side. And it's challenging to have them also then work shifts in the store that might conflict with their 9-to-5 job, obviously, and we know that takes precedence. So we are taking a really strategic look at the entire program to figure out, one, are we meeting the needs of the market, the people that we're serving, the businesses that we're serving? Are we aligned with the goals of those who fund our program? And what does that look like? What does that mean? So with the question around marketing and hey, I didn't know it was there, we feel that really deeply. And those are all things that we know that we need to work on as well. Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Mayor Pro Tem Wolfley.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As always, it's a great presentation. Wanted to follow up on the numbers that you had earlier that were reflective of the Bowie numbers. Were those numbers reflective of city residents, or were those reflective of the operations that you run in this area?
Wait, sorry, can you clarify that?
So you've got Bowie, I forget which slide it was, that had numbers about Bowie, but was that for Bowie city residents, or was that just for programs that you have hosted here in Bowie?
Oh, are you talking about the number of training classes, for
Training
instance?
classes and all of those sorts of things. Were those just specific to Bowie residents, or that happens to be how many programs and classes you did here, of which some subset is Bowie residents?
Got it. So one of the numbers that I had on our slides was that we did offer 65 training classes in fiscal year 26.
Mhm.
That's us as a whole. All of MWBC offered 65 training classes. The vast majority of those being available online, and therefore available to residents of Bowie.
Sure.
Now, I think what I had also included here was that, it was 67 unique clients served. So, and what I mean by that is that a client could take advantage of a training class and counseling, and we only count them once. They could come to 5 training classes, we only count them once.
Yeah. Okay, and the 67, those could be Bowie residents or other residents?
Residents
Outside of Bowie?
No, just Bowie residents.
Strictly
Just
Bowie resident, great. So do you have any metrics on kind of where this has led? Kind of, you've been in business doing this, but your operation's been doing this for 9 years. Do you have any kind of understanding of kind of what the gross economic value has been for the folks, both for your program as a whole, but in particular, since we're funding, what it means to our residents and what it means to the Bowie economic activity?
Yeah. So there was one slide that I included that had kind of the whole breadth of metrics from FY 2017 to current. And what some of the numbers that were there were 27 new businesses started. That's just from City of Bowie residents that we have served. I'm sure there are way more than 27 businesses that were started, but those were the individuals that we touched directly and that we had record that then started a business.
Gotcha. And do you have any indication of revenue volumes? How many people they employed? I'm looking for kind of to get something to match up against what I'm spending money on, and what's happening, and then kind of looking at, to your point that you were making earlier about goals and where we want to be. For us, we're looking for a city with economic growth for obviously our residents, but also for the community at large, where they can go and new restaurants, new stores, new this, new that. So I'm looking for some additional numbers or thoughts you might have on that. It was like 4 new businesses, 1's retail, 3 are businesses that serve other, their consulting business or what have you. They generate, X amount of dollars in revenue or sales or whatever it might be that kind of ties back to see what kind of a multiplier effect this is for us, so that we can say, hey, for every dollar you guys are putting in, you're getting this economic value on the back end, either over time or on a per annum basis, to say, hey, look, your money is kind of delivering on the promise.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can definitely look into the types of businesses that have been started, also the types of businesses that we serve in general. I can also look into the total amount of revenue. That might be one a little bit harder for us to get to, but I can definitely. These are good questions that I can go back. We gotta dig into our CRM and take a look at it and get back to you.
All right. Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Back to my left, Councilmember Ndebu Madu.
Thank you so much, Mayor Stev. I just have one question for you. Thank you for the presentation. What, specifically for the City of Bowie audience, what are you maximizing for right now? Is it traditional pathways into brick and mortar? Is it job creation? Is it revenue growth? What exactly are you maximizing for right now in your incubator?
Oh, for the incubator specifically. Okay.
And or any motion that you have in the City of Bowie specifically?
Okay. And when you say maximizing for, as in what are we, in terms of goals?
Correct.
Okay. So it's, revenue is one of the ones that we measure the most, how much revenue they are generating specifically in the store.
Okay, what I'm trying to learn is the value that's coming to the City of Bowie based off of the funding flow that we are essentially contributing to this program. So from an outcomes perspective, is it that we're getting more jobs created locally? Is it that we are getting more brick and mortar businesses and shopping centers? That's really what I'm trying to evaluate is the ROI for the City of Bowie currently. Do you have an answer for that at this moment?
So I think it depends on the businesses. So for many of them, starting their own brick and mortar is the goal. But for others, it is determining whether it's going to be that or e-commerce or wholesale. So I think it's a combination of total revenue as well as being able to start their own brick and mortar store.
Okay, super helpful. One thing that I'll add as a suggestion going forward, I think if, and maybe you already do this, and if so, would love to get that data. If you guys are doing a review, what I really want to do is make sure that we are in alignment with the needs of the city. So, for example, there could be a goal to have more brick and mortar businesses around from local entrepreneurs, and that might not match the wants of the constituency because they may not shop local in the Bowie Town Center. They may not shop local at Mill Branch Crossing. They may not shop local at South Lake. And so what I'd like to understand is the alignment that's happening based off of the population needs in the City of Bowie. I would say jobs created is a big one. So even if somebody is an e-commerce brand, it doesn't mean that they're not creating jobs. It doesn't mean that they don't have somebody working in an office to support the sales of an e-commerce scaled back business. And so I think that's kind of what I would love to see is just kind of the alignment with the population needs to understand what the ROI is for the City of Bowie.
No, that's great. And can I ask you, so when you talk about jobs created, is it important to you all that those jobs are created in Bowie, or that the businesses that are being incubated in the in-shop local are creating jobs in general?
I'll speak on behalf of District 4, and I'll let my colleagues speak for themselves. I think for me, on behalf of my district, my priority would be jobs created in Bowie. If I'm appropriating any funding that's going towards something that is for the base of Bowie constituent tax dollars, it would be the jobs that are being created for the Bowie community. It would also be whether there is alignment with Bowie constituents who are going to shop local at scale to support the viability of those business and the sustainability of them staying in the area and being able to afford the rent prices of the shopping centers that are in this jurisdiction. So I think it's setting them up for success, but then also at the same time, making sure that the community is getting an ROI on the tax dollars that are being spent to support the program.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Brady.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome. That was a very good presentation, very informative. And along the lines of what I expected to hear, so I'm glad that you did not disappoint in that regards. I have several questions, and I'll start off with you said July 17th is your 10th anniversary or 9th anniversary?
Oh, July 17th is our first anniversary of the store.
I'm sorry, what?
July 17th will be our first anniversary of the store.
Okay, how long has MWBC been in existence? I thought that was coming up in 10 years.
So MWBC has been in existence for 16 years.
Okay. Have you tracked, I know you said you stay in touch with the graduates from the cohorts that you've sponsored over the years. Do you stay in continual contact with them? Not continual, but like an annual survey of how they're doing to kind of assess the long-term successes of your program?
For the retail incubator or in general?
Both.
Okay. So we do a biannual survey of our clients.
Okay.
Survey responses are, as you can imagine, not fantastic. We also do our best to do phone calls, proactive phone calls to our clients. And these are clients in general, not necessarily clients of our incubator or of our cohorts. Again, those are also ways for us to gather better data about the health and progress of their businesses. It's imperfect.
Right.
And then with our incubators and with our cohorts, those are people that we spend a good amount of time with. And so, for instance, with Shop Local, I think it has not, and I've been in this role for about 15 months. And so I don't, again, think it's been perfect with continuing to follow up with them. It is something that we're looking to get better at, and doing those annual surveys to track the progress of their businesses.
Right.
One of our program managers has been with us for 10 years, and so she has seen all of the cohort members through Shop Local, not the one here in Bowie, but the one in Rockville. And so she stays in continual contact with those graduates.
Right.
And then with our Founders Rising program, yes, we do. We have not. They haven't made it to annually, but yes, our plan is to have regular follow-ups with them, and those I anticipate will have pretty good response rates because we have worked with them so closely, and they are so tied to us.
The reason I asked that was in your presentation you had several slides that had dollar amounts from what I'm taking as the participants in the cohorts were generating during the course of the year. Am I mistaken by?
So some of those slides that had dollar amounts, so those were, I think you're talking about the capital infusion transactions, and those were not necessarily tied with a cohort. Or those were all of our clients.
Okay, because and I agree. If we are contributing, and I think there's a benefit to us, but if we are contributing, there should be a return, if you will. It's not just we want Bowie, the bigger area of Bowie, according to the U.S. postal system, but rather Bowie proper.
Correct.
In return, because if everyone's going outside the city, then there's really no reason for us to expend any funds. So it would be helpful if in the statistics over the course of time, if we had some way of assessing or determining how many brick and mortars were started up, how many were in Bowie, how many employees were in all of them, how many in Bowie. See if we can just identify the information in totality and how it applies to Bowie. I think that would be helpful with some of my colleagues' concerns. And you said, I guess the three possibilities are they either go to a brick and mortar, they do e-commerce, or they decide not to follow on.
Wholesale. Wholesale was the third.
So there's four, because there's always the possibility that you decide not to.
That, yes.
And I'm assuming that very few decide, well, it sounded interesting when I got into it, I'm not going to do it now, but I imagine those are very few.
It is. If they've gotten to the stage that they're ready to apply for something like Shop Local, they've been doing, it's part of our criteria that they've been doing this for a number of years. So I don't think we've had anybody who just said, well, that was a terrible experience, I'm just done now.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like the no build whenever State Highways does an estimate. But the reason asking that is, as they graduate from their cohort and what have you, do either you or do you put them in touch with somebody that can assist them in talking to a developer, a business, an office complex, what have you, in order to go into that brick and mortar? Do you provide that, or do you hook them up with the right people?
Yeah, so we have a whole network of real estate brokers, we can, because of who we are, we can never refer them specifically to one person, so we always provide them with a range of individuals. But real estate brokers, attorneys, we do try to ensure that while they're part of the program, we help them to understand everything from what's in a commercial lease, how do you look at siting, are you thinking about foot traffic, what is the, what's the household income, within an X mile radius of where you're looking for. So these are all part of, it's all part of the education piece of being part of Shop Local, is helping them to do all of that research beforehand, so that when they do start looking at potential locations, they know what to ask. They at least know the questions to ask.
Right.
And they have a network of resources and individuals who they can go to. Hopefully they trust at that point.
Right.
Because that's the value of the experts that we're bringing in. So now we're actually, next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, our live session is specifically, it's a panel of experts, but specifically talking about commercial leases, negotiations, what to look for in terms of sites and cities and things like that. So it's part of the education process is to arm them with, with that.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the information and wish you well in the coming year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Brady. Councilmember Truesdale. Sorry, we can't hear you, Councilmember. You might be on mute. There we go. Thank you, sir.
I'm a big fan of entrepreneurship, especially businesses in Bowie. This month makes 25 years since our small business started back in 2001, and entrepreneurship is very important. The presentation, you kind of touched on some of the areas on training and education. My question is, how are, and probably would be effective, but how are you educating or you marketing a lot of these training sessions that you're having, especially in the Bowie Community Center? I saw that you had one at the Senior Center and, just different places. How are we marketing, getting information out for residents?
Yeah, absolutely. So we get information out through our MWBC newsletter, has several about 20,000 people on that newsletter, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look and see how many of those folks are actually in Bowie. We do attempt to get our news out through the Prince George's EDC, through the Bowie Chamber of Commerce. Obviously, we are often co-located with Mr. King's office upstairs at Office of Economic Development, and he and his staff are fantastic at making sure that people that they come in contact with are aware of our resources. We have made sure that we have had flyers up at local libraries, at the senior center. I do think we could do better. And so if there are, I think there was a local Toastmasters organization that we also have started to explore partnerships with. But if there are groups that we are not connected with, I think that was one of my in one of my closing slides about what we're looking forward to doing is establishing and deepening relationships here in Bowie. And so, if there are networking groups, I'm sure there are, ones that we are not necessarily tapped into yet, we would love to be introduced to them, because I think that, look, 67 clients are great, but I know there's a lot more entrepreneurs hiding out there in this large city, and we would love to get in front of those folks and at least make them aware that these resources are available to them. And it's kind of the joke that I crack every time I get in front of a room, as I say, hey fellas, I know that our name is Maryland Women's Business Center, but we work with men as well, and we are happy for you to walk in our door or to sign up as a client, and we'll work with you as well. So I feel like we always need to be better about getting that message out as well.
Great, great. And I know the Shop Local is more of the hub for the entrepreneurs. In our case, we have 12 cohorts, right? And how are, I guess, you know, a lot of this come with training with them as well, but how are they executing in terms of marketing their brand in partnership with the Shop Local itself? You may not have any metrics on how many numbers they're bringing in, but is any education or any training being taught in that area?
In terms of marketing training for the individuals who are
for
part of
entrepreneur for the cohorts that are in the Shop Local space.
Yeah, so marketing is part of the curriculum. One of the things that we are looking at investing in more in FY27 is bringing in a retail incubator manager who has specific marketing experience, has that experience of bringing foot traffic in the door, which we know is always a perennial challenge for any brick and mortar owner.
Just last question. With some of the cohorts, are there any creative ideas in terms of collaborating some of the businesses that are now working together in terms of collaborating to a joint venture? And I'm going to use an example. Maybe you have a barber there along with a tattoo artist, and it's like,
right.
Wow, well, we can open a collaboration brick and mortar.
Right.
Are there any talks on that?
So I can't say that I know of any current talks that are happening out of this store, but I will say that I know we don't necessarily want to hear about our other store in another jurisdiction, but I can tell you that there was still is a jewelry company that was very, very successful out of our Rockville store. They loved our model so much that they emulated it. And they went and opened and they said, hey, do you all mind if we go and do this? And we said, you know what, flattery, what is it, like copying, the saying of, copying is the best form of flattery. So they essentially duplicated our model in their own store. And they brought in other businesses that were complementary to what they did. The difference was that they were actually the owner of the store and they were in there managing at the same time. And so they were in there hands-on every day. But they did a very similar thing where they brought in other cohort members. And so they essentially shared space. And so it reduced risk on them. They were not, they were the leaseholder, but they basically had, a sublease situation with a number of small businesses that complemented their own. And so, yes, in short, that has happened, absolutely. I can think of several people who are currently in our cohort. I'm not saying that they are thinking about this, but I can think of several that have complementary products. And it certainly could be in their future if they are thinking about that. They haven't told me yet. But it is certainly something that we encourage.
Well, thanks again, Karen. Appreciate your presentation. Thanks a lot, Mayor Steph.
Thank you, council member. Any round two questions? I think we're all set. Ms. Sippel, I appreciate your presentation tonight. Anything from staff to close us out, or all set?
Yes, the anniversary is going to be June 17th. We were talking about some stuff, then July slipped in there, but it will be June 17th. You should have received at least one invitation so far. We'll be sending out a follow-up invitation tomorrow with that June 17th information in it. That's all.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation tonight.
Thank you all.
Next, I'm going to move us to the Bowie Business Innovation Center, Bowie BIC. I'll start out with staff for a quick intro if needed. If not, we'll dive right in.
We're going to vamp here while they get the slides switched over.
Well, good evening. Good evening, Mayor and staff, Mayor Pro Tem Wolfley.
city council members, our citizens, and everyone here in the room. I'm June Evans. I am the Executive Director of the Bowie Business Innovation Center, and I am here to give our FY26 Impact Report. And I believe this is okay, wonderful. And it's at the end, so can we get back to the beginning? Let's see. Yeah. Okay, here we are. Here is the agenda for the presentation. So I will start off by introducing the team of the Bowie BIC. Nope, wrong way. There we go. As you can see, we have 4 team members. Myself as Executive Director, Crystal Clark, who is our Operations Director. We also have Renata Moten, who is the Program Manager for our Center of Excellence for 8A Government Contracting. And we have our Grants Manager. She's part-time, but she's also dedicated to the Center of Excellence for 8A Government Contracting. We are governed by a dynamic board of directors. Some of the faces on there I'm sure are familiar, you're familiar with, some you may not, but nonetheless, each member contributes greatly to our success. Today, our mission is to educate, equip, and elevate. We educate our entrepreneurs on how to be bankable and to be financially ready. We equipped our businesses, many of the businesses, to pursue government contracts, and we elevate business performance during all rapid growth and expansion. However, this year is a strategic planning year, and we are listening, we are learning, and we are dedicated to aligning our next strategic plan with some of the economic development priorities that we know that the city of Bowie is interested in achieving. But let's look at FY26. Bowie BIC Impact in a Snapshot. This year alone, and these are all direct services, we have worked with 98 Bowie-based businesses. We calculate our Bowie-based businesses, we only collect the work addresses. When we say 98 Bowie businesses, we carve out the residents, and we only acknowledge in this number those that have businesses registered right here in the city of Bowie. We also were able to work directly with the Economic Development Office and refer 54 businesses that expressed interest in opening up commercial lease space. We have worked with businesses that have generated $56 million in revenue. Now we go to the county. We've served 371 county-based businesses. The 98 is included in the 371. And then throughout the region, we say the word is getting out because we have worked with 1,250 businesses throughout the region. Now, when we think about Bowie businesses and Bowie jobs, we want to look at this direct return on investment. We have 5 flagship programs. And when I say flagship programs, those are programs where you're working with a business intensively over several weeks, or it could be months. You're helping them build something, get through a hurdle, identify and actually fill some holes and gaps to help them grow and scale. Within our Innovate Bowie, just this year, we were able to work with 8 businesses that attended Innovate Bowie. And with those businesses, they are generating $2.5 million, and together they employ 29 people. With our Capital Accelerator, we have been consistently working with 5 Bowie-based businesses who are generating $5.7 million in revenue, and they employ 6 staff members. Our 8A Accelerator, we have 1 Bowie business that have been working with us this year. This year, they have generated $1 million, and they employ 5 people. And through our Open Door program, there has been 8 businesses consistently attending the sessions and working with the subject matter experts, and collectively, they generate $525,000, and they employ 19 employees. Our last flagship program is our Center of Excellence for 8A Government Contracting. And you're all familiar that this program launched in 2022. And it's a program that goes beyond regionally. We are working with businesses across the country. But what's important about this program is how we may be able to leverage it to help with Bowie's economic development priorities. So to date, we have 18 HBCU partners. We have 39 8A firms collectively generating $120 million in government contracts and employing about 750 people. But what we look at here is how the impact that we have in that government contracting space. And we want to leverage these resources by working with the city to maybe offer some incentives for some of those businesses to maybe open up here in the city of Bowie. Let's go, I'm going back again. Oh, wrong way. Now, the Bowie Business Innovation Center has been growing. I've been here since 2022, but I think it's been growing since its inception. But I thought this was important to see that we're recognized as an asset. So even by the Baltimore Business Journal in 2025, we were named the 5th largest business accelerator/incubator in the state of Maryland, which makes us the largest and most prominent business accelerator and incubator in Prince George's County. We are the only business accelerator that has a structured focus in the government contracting space. Now let's talk the state of Bowie business. We have about 1/3 of our residents that have jobs right here in the city of Bowie. There are 96 federal contractors located here in the city of Bowie, but there's about 4,000 federal contractors located in Prince George's County. 18% of Bowie's workforce are federal employees. There's a 13% office vacancy rate, and we have $223 million in annual retail leakage. Now, what does that mean? Bowie, by far, are more residents than local employment opportunities. So by far, we have more residents than actual jobs here in Bowie that they can actually have. That's also the lowest in all of our peer municipalities. It also means that the statement suggests that Bowie is missing out on a significant share in the federal procurement dollars that are being spent countywide, regionally. It also means that nearly 1 in 5 workers living in Bowie are employed by the federal government. We all know that that creates vulnerability. And we heard my colleague talk about their Rising Founders program, because when the economy got hit hard for the federal government, a lot of Bowie residents were affected by that. It also means that a significant amount of our commercial office space is being underutilized. And it means that Bowie residents collectively are spending a lot of money, but they're spending it outside of the city of Bowie. Now, we talked about challenges, but I don't talk about challenges without talking about solutions. So when we talk about a third of our residents actually being employed here in the city of Bowie, there are a couple of things that we consider that could be solutions to that problem. Solutions is to continue to invest in entrepreneurial development. So the programs that you've been hearing about tonight, it is an investment and it will eventually reap rewards. So investing in entrepreneurial development, investing in small business growth, but also having us partner with each other to leverage what we're doing here in the city of Bowie. So for instance, the Bowie BIC partnering with Incubate to create more the innovation districts such as Crafted in Bowie, partnerships with the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce, as we did to launch our commercial lease readiness series. When you talk about 96 federal contractors here in the city of Bowie, but we have about 4,000 throughout the county, a solution is to really think about leveraging what we're doing here in the federal contracting space by really trying to offer some of our graduate incentives to locate or relocate here in the city of Bowie. We talk about 18% of Bowie's workforce are federal employees. Continue to expand and invest in entrepreneurial development programs that allow federal employees to transition their skill sets and their unique talents into even being federal contractors or federal, having a federal GovCon business. When you think about 13% of office vacancy, there may be some opportunity there to really start focusing in on innovation, thinking about more innovation districts. The Bowie BIC is partnering with Bowie State University. We're going to launch our CX Lab, which is our Customer Experience Innovation Lab, which is inside of the CX Lab is a student consulting studio, which is going to open up doors for Bowie to start having initiatives such as a Smart Bowie Sandbox initiative. When you think about $223 million in annual retail leakage, the solutions really ties and centered around the innovation work that collectively we can do with the new CX Lab, our capital accelerator, really expanding in the concept of Innovate Bowie. All of these things coming together, attracting young professionals, connecting businesses with our local talent, and equipping our entrepreneurs and businesses to become investment ready. The Bowie Business Innovation Center, as I said and mentioned before, we are in a new strategic planning season. So we've been looking, how do we align our strategic plan with the City of Bowie's strategic plan in 2022? When you see here in 2022, we talk about, well, the plan talks about support for the Bowie BIC, but it also talks about the incentives for our graduates. But when we do that, we're able to leverage our 8A Accelerator, our Center of Excellence for 8A Government Contracting, and even the program that we started with the Greater Bowie Chamber in our commercial lease readiness space. Then we can tick up the businesses we can refer to the city Office of Economic Development to see if those businesses will be interested in choosing Bowie as a place for them to open their business. In the 2022 Economic Development Plan, it talked about the Old Town Bowie as a maker tech hub, which that work is being started. We know the Crafted in Bowie, Incubate's taking the lead on some of that. But working together, we can expand the concept of the Customer Experience Innovation Lab. We can expand the concept of Smart Bowie Sandbox. And we can definitely invest in our students at Bowie State University by ramping up our Student Consultant Studio. The 2022 Economic Development Plan talked about attracting IT, government contracting, and healthcare services. Those are our top earners in government contracts when it comes to our ADA Accelerator and our Center of Excellence. Then we have a live where you work. Keep the talent here in Bowie. We can help that by really focusing in on our Capital Accelerator, and again, innovative programs like our Student Consulting Studio. That would encourage our students to, when they graduate, to stay right here in the city of Bowie. And the strategic plan talked about Bowie State being an anchor partnership. The Bowie BIC is working very closely with Bowie State University. We're seeing the potential and how do we come together and really help shape Bowie to be that innovation-led city. And again, I will reiterate, there's programs on the horizon that we think will do just that. Now, even though some of the programs that we offer, I think it's great, we collectively, even with the Maryland Women Business Center, we're making great impact in the city of Bowie. But what I think is the greatest impact is the return on your investment. Every year, the city of Bowie has been able to give us $150,000, and we use that $150 almost as seed money. To date, we've been able to share that for every dollar that the city of Bowie has given us, on your return, 8.9% return on that investment. You look here, these are the other partners that we've been able to take that $150,000 and be able to leverage it for additional funding to support all these programs. Our partners consist of the U.S. the U.S. Business Administration, the County Council, Capital One, FSC First, TD Bank Foundation, the Capital Readiness Program, and the new one that came this year, the International Monetary Fund. Now, how can we work together? That's the key. The impact that Bowie makes is great, but fostering the collaborations with our legacy partners will make it even greater. Together, we want to focus on stronger partnerships for greater impact so that Bowie can thrive. I want to just take a few minutes to invite two of our strategic partners to come and just share with you what we plan to do to help Bowie thrive. Can I have QC Jones and Janetta Hardy, please?
I'll go first. Good evening. My name is QC Jones. Connection, increase their visibility and long-term community engagement. Together, we create a stronger pathway for entrepreneurs, from startup to sustainable growth. An example of our collaboration, as June has already mentioned, we partnered with the Bowie BIC in their commercial lease readiness series to help businesses prepare for commercial space opportunities. We supported the Crafted in Bowie and other initiatives that promote and celebrate local businesses. connecting chamber members to the Bowie BIC programs, aligning capital resources, providing coaching and growth opportunity have all been part and all examples of our collaboration. So, our commitment to the future. We are committed to working alongside the city as well as the Bowie BIC to attract businesses, to fill commercial spaces, to strengthen local spending, to support the vision of thriving Bowie business community. This partnership demonstrates that economic development is the most effective when organizations work together rather than silos. So in closing, the Chamber is proud to stand by the Bowie BIC, the City of Bowie, as we continue to build a strong, a stronger local economy for our residents, for our entrepreneurs, and for future generations. Thank you.
All righty. Hello and good evening. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, City Manager, distinguished guests, community partners, and residents. My name is Johnetta Hardy, and I'm honored to serve as the founding executive director of the Entrepreneurship Innovation Center, or as we like to say, EIC, at Bowie State University, as we also like to say, BSU. As Maryland's oldest historically Black college and university, Bowie State University has been transforming lives and creating opportunities for nearly 160 years under the exceptional leadership of our president, who you all know, Dr. Aminta H. Bro. Bowie State University continues to serve as a catalyst for innovation, economic mobility, workforce development, and community impact throughout our region. I'm especially proud to lead the award-winning Entrepreneurship Innovation Center, which is housed within our nationally recognized Entrepreneurship Living Learning Community. Together, they represent a unique ecosystem where students, faculty, entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and community partners come together to learn, innovate, create, and grow. This is why our partnership is especially amazing and great for the Bowie Business Innovation Center, because it's so meaningful. The Bowie BIC exemplifies what can happen when higher education, government, business, and community organizations align around a shared vision. Together, we're helping build a stronger entrepreneurial ecosystem that supports businesses and that supports businesses at every stage, from startup and growth to expansion and long-term sustainability. Bowie State University is proud to serve as an anchor institution in the city of Bowie and a strategic partner of the Bowie Business Innovation Center. Our collaboration extends far beyond shared space through initiatives such as hosting and supporting the Bowie BIC within Bowie State University's Entrepreneurship Living Learning Community, partnering on the SBA-funded Center of Excellence for 8A Government Contracting, and advancing emerging initiatives such as the Customer Experience Innovation Lab, Student Consulting Studio, and entrepreneurial ecosystem development efforts. We are creating meaningful connections between students, faculty, entrepreneurs, and industry partners. These initiatives provide hands-on experiences, foster innovation, and help businesses gain the tools and resources needed to compete and grow. At the EIC, we serve as the university's hub for entrepreneurship, innovation, and venture development. We bring together students, faculty, alum, entrepreneurs, industry partners, and investors and community organizations to create a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystems where ideas can be explored, tested, launched, and scaled. And let me just say this, our president, we're not just about building businesses, but we're building people that will be impactful within our community, and we're excited to do that. Through mentorship, experiential learning, pitch competitions, incubator, and accelerator programs, and you know we're the only HBCU to have an accelerator program, that's the award, Bowie Business BIC. Funding opportunities, entrepreneurial education, and strategic partnerships, we connect individuals with the resources, network, and support systems needed to succeed. Our partnership with Bowie BIC strengthens that ecosystem by extending opportunities beyond campus, creating a seamless pathway for entrepreneurs and businesses to grow and thrive right here in the city of Bowie. Together, we are helping transform ideas into businesses, businesses into employers, and employers into economic assets for our community. But what excites me most is the impact. Bowie BIC has supported businesses throughout the city of Bowie, helped companies move into commercial space, generated millions of dollars in revenue, and provided services to businesses throughout the region. Their work in creating jobs, attracting investment, strengthening commercial activity, and advancing the city's economic development goals. But just as importantly, our students are benefiting. They're gaining real-world consulting experience, learning from entrepreneurs and industry leaders, exploring pathways into government contracting, and developing the entrepreneurial mindset and leadership skills needed to thrive in today's economy. As we look to the future, Bowie State University and the Entrepreneurship Innovation Center remain committed and serving as a catalyst for innovation, entrepreneurship, workforce development, and economic prosperity throughout the region. Together, with the Bowie BIC, we are helping build an ecosystem where our students become founders, founders become employers, employers become community partners, and innovation becomes economic impact. We see tremendous opportunities ahead to strengthen university-industry partnership, support commercialization, create experiential learning, opportunities, attract investment, support local businesses, and position Bowie as a destination for entrepreneurship, innovation, and talent development. On behalf of our president, Dr. Aminta H. Bro, and the entire Bowie State University family, I want to thank the city of Bowie, June Evans, the Bowie BIC Board of Directors, staff partners and supporters for your leadership, vision, and commitment to this community. Our partnership demonstrates what is possible when higher education, government, business, and community organizations unite around a common goal, which is creating opportunities, driving innovation, and strengthening our economy and building a brighter future for Bowie. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, QC. I want to thank Janetta and I want to thank QC for coming out. They were more than happy to share the shared vision, the work that we're doing together. They're excited about it. They're ready to roll up their sleeves and get started. All the work that we've been doing, not just us, the Bowie BIC, but as I mentioned, our legacy partners, our other ESOs in the area, it's hard work going out there, working with entrepreneurs. But I think this is a new time. It's a new day. It's time to turn the tide. We have to start working together. We have to start leveraging what each other is doing so that we can keep our eyes on the goal and really start creating a greater impact with the city. So I say that. I thank you, Mayor Esteve. I thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Wolfley, and the City Council, John Henry King. I thank you for all your support because it has led us to this point. But now is the time, and I think we can come together and we can do greater things. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation tonight. I will turn us to my council colleagues, starting this time on my right. Do we have any questions? Councilmember Rogers.
So I just want to make some comments. I thought that was a wonderful presentation. The data is the type of data I'm always looking for in order to help make better decisions. So I thank you for that. The enthusiasm from Bowie State was just overwhelming. I know this for sure. The University of Maryland, College Park, is basically the economic engine for College Park. They provide spending, they also provide employment, direct employment. They have research and innovation, as well as startup and business creation. And this is what I'm hearing here. We have an opportunity, and as a matter of fact, the timing couldn't be better because we had the Maryland Women's Business Center here that could also be a part of this ecosystem partnership. So I thought the presentation was outstanding. I think the The thinking is strategic and innovative. And it's a great opportunity for the city of Bowie to move forward and start creating the jobs that we so really want to have for the residents that live here. So I thank you for your work, June. I thank the Bowie BIC for taking the initiative to come before us to do this. Thank you, John Henry King, for allowing such a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, council member. Anything else on my right? Council member Truesdale online.
Thank you, Jim, for the wonderful presentation. I don't have any questions. Just want to thank you for the update and giving us the metrics along with the good energy. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Moving to my left. Council member Ndibu Madu.
Thanks so much, Mayor Stev. Great presentation, so much data, loved it, every minute of it. And then, forgive me, I forgot your name, but I just felt like I was listening to a radio ad and I loved it. Like, you just, wonderful presentation from Bowie State, and it's great to know what you guys are up to. And we hope to hear from you more over here on the City Council and foster a more intentional relationship there and playing a role there. My question for you, Ms. Evans, how are you I know you're focused, you have a big focus on federal contracts. In this moment, I know there has been a lot of talk about how there are different government funding cuts going on. However, what I am seeing as it relates to my private sector work is there's a lot of federal funding flowing to the state. So how are you pivoting that kind of federal contracting model to now enable and equip businesses to be prepared to do business with the state instead of the federal government?
That's a great question. We are doing that now, and that is part of the new strategic plan that's rolling out. We have Secretary Walter Simmons that's going to be coming out to the Bowie BIC on June 11th. So if any of the city council members would love to attend, I think I sent invitations. I want you to come out so that you can see how we are starting to use the best practices that we've learned with the federal government and how to apply them to state government. That was one of the reasons why Secretary Simmons reached out to me in his efforts in trying to get funding to support the minority businesses in the state. He wanted to see how could we start to work with those contractors that were working with the federal government to really start seeing, can they start working with the state government? And so that is one of the things that we plan to do. And because of the Center of Excellence, it has allowed us to really start to hone in on some of those best practices and invest in some tools as well that we can be readily available to work with those businesses as they develop their procurement capture strategies, as they really define their access to capital and how they're going to be able to access it and scale. But those are the type of things that we are looking to do.
Thank you. That's super helpful, and would love to attend that. My next question is, how can we best support you to equip our constituents who perhaps lost those federal contracting opportunities and are now pivoting their business models or don't know that they can be pivoting their business models in this moment? I'll give you just a brief example that's driving my question. In my other work, I am currently working with a state that I will not name, but essentially one of the challenges that they are having is that it's very difficult with the funding that's flowing to the state for them to connect with businesses on ground because they don't know all of the businesses in their ecosystem. And so while they have these pots of monies that they have to disperse very quickly, and these procurement cycles are going very quickly within like 3 to 4 month turnarounds, some of the businesses that could be positioned and could be partnering with the state to be able to apply for those RFPs and RFAs are not in a position to do so because there's an information gap. I see the same thing happening on the state of Maryland. In different industries, there's a lot of funding flowing, and while they'll send maybe a quick email to say, hey, we got this money, like look into this on this particular link. It's kind of buried. And so how can we best work with you and support you to make sure that our constituents are being best positioned to harness those opportunities that are newer?
That's dynamic information, because what we can do is, as the Center of Excellence is getting ready to what we consider Center of Excellence 2.0, we are starting to look at all of our government contracting type of programming and starting to see where are some of the areas that we can pivot into ourselves to really have a greater impact within that space. And so if that is something that you have recognized that is an opportunity, especially for the city of Bowie, I would love to further talk to you about it, because we could then use and leverage what we're working on now to maybe build something out that can address that need. We are actually, that's how we plan to spend our last year of funding for the Center of Excellence, is really building out tools and curricula and certain things that we can replicate and be able to use that within the GovCon space in general. So let's have a conversation about that.
Absolutely. Love that. And my last point is going to be to my colleagues, just for our consideration. As we are looking at economic development and the economic development priorities that we are going to shape, I know that one of the big ones was job creation that we talked about within the city of Bowie. I think it is worth us potentially looking at a portion of our marketing spend to be able to drive the awareness of businesses that can be working with the Bowie BIC to understand what opportunities are out there for them to be best positioned. I know the Bowie BIC is doing some lunch and learns and things like that, so we can help drive attendance to that and allocate some of our spend towards that. I think that would be very helpful for our constituents, and it would be helpful for what they're already offering that we're already contributing dollars to. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support.
Sorry, we might have a few more questions.
Oh,
apologize.
sorry.
Councilmember Brady.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Boy, when you're last, all the good questions are asked, but sometimes when you're last, the speaker starts to move on without you. So I will be really brief. I greatly appreciate your presentation tonight. I thank you for bringing such energetic people with you that really raised the bar and raised the heat in here, if you will, with their energy. So not only were they informative, but they were definitely catching one's eye and ears through their presentation. The only question I had was already asked by my colleague with regards to the government contracts in the 8A, because with what we see going on in Washington and the problems that presents to us, it was kind of confusing on why would we be relying on that, but I'm glad with your explanation, taking what the knowledge and experience you learn with the federal and directing it towards the state. So that is very, very enlightening. And then the one point I will make is we are and have started working very hard on economic development for the city of Bowie. And I think this is a perfect timing with your presentation that as we move forward with our discussions, I'm sure we will be drawing you into the loop and relying on you to help us with that. And together, I think we can move this small part of the region forward in a very positive, very beneficial way. So again, thank you for coming tonight and for the information you provided. It was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Councilmember.
Any other questions from any of my colleagues?
Now.
All right.
Now.
Thank you for your presentation tonight.
Thank you. Thank you again.
I'll now move us on to detailed site plan, DSB 2025-0036, Mill Branch Crossing. I will turn this over to staff.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Ridwan Coker, the city's transportation planner here to introduce this item, detailed site plan DSB-2025-0036, Arby's at Mill Branch Crossing, to which Mr. Edward Gibbs, attorney for the applicant, Green Branch LLC, will be giving a presentation subsequently after this introduction. This project consists of an eating and drinking establishment with a drive-through on approximately 1 acre, 0.93 to be exact. The site address is 3480 St. Lola Lane, Bowie, Maryland, 20716. Located in the northeast quadrant of the intersection of US 301 and Mill Branch Road. The property has frontage on US 301 and St. Lola Lane. The property is part of a larger development known as Mill Branch Crossing, which is currently zoned CGO Commercial General Office. However, this case spanning 1,190 square feet will be reviewed under the prior zoning ordinance, CSC Commercial Shopping Center Zone. A preliminary plan of subdivision for this Mill Branch Crossing project was heard by Bowie City Council on January 4th, 2021. It comprised of about 400 multifamily units, 190 residential townhouse units, around 80,000 square feet of commercial retail space, and a hotel space as well. The detailed site plan DSB-20003 was heard on February 22nd, 2022, which was strictly for the residential components of the project. The 408 multifamily units and the 190 residential townhouse units. The Bowie Advisory Planning Board met on May 26, 2026 to hear this case, to which they moved to approve this case unanimously with staff conditions. The County Planning Board is set to hear this detailed site plan on June 25, 2026. With that, staff recommends approval of detailed site plan DSB-2025-0036 with the following conditions. Staff recommends providing a pedestrian connection between abutting retail to the east and recommend that outdoor seating be incorporated into the site design. That concludes staff presentation, and I will hand it over to Mr. Edward Gibbs. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gibbs, please come forward. And just for a quick follow-up question for staff, what were the residential unit counts? I forgot.
190.
190, all told? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Gibbs, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Wolfley. Very nice to be here. Nice to see everyone else as well. Edward Gibbs, an attorney with offices in Largo. And I've been here many times in the past. Always a pleasure to come back. And I've been here many times on this particular project, Mill Branch Crossing. Would like to make a couple of introductions if I could. So Mr. Boris Lander is with Mill Branch Sandwiches. He is the owner of the applicant entity in this case. His civil engineer, Mr. Tim Longfellow of GLW, is with us. And of course, the owner of Mill Branch Crossing, the master developer, Green Branch LLC, Mr. William F. Chesley, he's here, and he's been here for every case that we've presented in this project. So thank you very much. I think staff, did a very good job briefing you on the fundamentals of the project. And of course, you're mostly all familiar with the project from us being here in the past, but it's just 70 acres in the northeast quadrant of the intersection of Mill Branch Road and US 301. We have 2 points of access. There is a right-in, right-out turning movement on the northern end of the property coming in. And then, of course, there's access off of Mill Branch Road through a private road known as St. Ridgely Boulevard that comes down into the property. When Mr. Chesley first started the development of this project, we didn't have the new zoning ordinance at the time. The property was zoned CSC for commercial shopping center. We knew that the new zoning ordinance was coming, and we also knew that the zoning recommendation for the property was going to be CGO, Commercial General Office. And so in anticipation, we were getting started in 2018, 2017 actually, but in anticipation of the new zoning classification that was going to come, the county council, and we came here, of course, to you as well, agreed to adopt an amendment, a zoning text amendment, CV 45 of 2019, which effectively said that we could do multifamily uses in the CSC zone at a density not exceeding 48 units to the acre, and we could do residential townhomes in the CSC zone at a density not exceeding 20 units to the acre. And those densities and those uses correspond with the residential uses that are permitted in the CGO zone. And that was the whole impetus behind that bill that was passed by the council. And of course, we came here and made a presentation to the city as well when that was all happening. And so that's what led to the project starting its entitlement history, and it led to the uses that have been permitted. So we have a total of 408 multifamily residential units that are permitted, 190 residential townhomes that are permitted, and 77,635 square feet right now of commercial retail space, which is permitted. And of course, there's a site for potentially a hotel as well, which would be a welcome arrival. If Mr. Chesley is able to make that happen. Hotel development is quite challenging at the moment, not much of it occurring, but he's working on it. So that's sort of how we started the project, and we did one preliminary subdivision plan for the entire 77 acres. It encompassed everything. And it entitled it with all the transportation improvements. And I might add, just a couple of months ago, we did an adequacy, we don't, in the old days it was you did a preliminary plan, you got adequacy of transportation facilities. Now they do adequacy certificates. And those are a creature of the new zoning ordinance. And so we went ahead and did an amendment to our adequacy certificate just about a month or a month and a half ago. And so we're fully up to speed and fully vested from a transportation standpoint for the entire project. Every road inside of the development is private. All the roads, St. Lola Lane, St. Ridgely Boulevard, St. Chesley, everything. There's even a road that's called St. Edward, and I think that's me. I think. And so anyhow, everything is private. So when we did the first detailed site plan, we were really looking to do the approvals for the multifamily and the townhomes, but because everything is private, we had to show access. We included the entire project in that first detailed site plan. And so we showed all of the commercial lots as outlots because we didn't know how they were ultimately going to be laid out in terms of how many acres each use would require, because we didn't know what the uses would be at that point in time. That was sort of evolving. So there's one detailed site plan for the entire project, and then we came in and we did individual detailed site plans for uses that have previously been approved and for which we were here this evening, or here previously, excuse me. So this evening we're here on an Arby's eating and drinking establishment with a drive-through lane that accompanies it. It's going on what was previously known as Outlot 6, or part of Outlot 6. We call it Outlot 6A right now, and I don't know whether, do we have the capability to bring that site plan up again, or we don't have it tonight? I mean, I'm not sure we need it it's okay. Oh, it's up here. Oh, well. So, you know. There we go. I think you have it on your screens now. But as you can see, that's the entire project. The big sort of hole in the donut there is the multifamily component, and it has the detailed site plan shows all that now. This is a slide that doesn't have it. But as you can see, there's a spine road that runs. There we go. There's a spine road that runs through the community, coming off of St. Ridgely Boulevard, and it comes up, and you see all of the outlots that are sort of on the west and northwest side of that spine road called St. Lola Lane. which terminates in a circle near the right in, right out off of US 301. And so we're part of Outlot 6. We call it Outlot 6A right now. And as each detailed site plan gets approved, we come back in and change the outlot to a parcel designation. And we file a new record plat for that individual lot. So that's where we are with this one. The proposal, the Arby's restaurant is a permitted use as a matter of right in the zone, subject to the approval of a detailed site plan, which really focuses not so much on the use itself, but on how the site is laid out, where your parking is going to be, how your access is going to occur on that site. Maybe, do I have to hit from here to get the color elevation? Maybe I should call Mr. Chesney up here. How about you, Tim? I'm kind of a technological Neanderthal, to tell you the truth, so I'm going to need some help. There's a rendered colored this. There we go. Okay, so that is the site. Great, thank you. And so what we have is we have a 30-foot wide driveway coming in off St. Lola Lane. We have 60-degree angled parking spaces and a 30-foot wide drive aisle that is going to be one way. So we have plenty of room for circulation on site. It will be one-way circulation throughout the development site. You'll come in off of St. Lola, proceed west. The drive-through lane picks up along the western side of the building, and then cars that are using the parking spaces can ultimately exit by coming around the west side of the building and then proceeding easterly along the south side of the lot and exiting onto St. Lola Lane again. We meet all of the requirements of the zoning ordinance for how the infrastructure is going to be built, the dimensions of the parking spaces, the number of parking spaces, landscaping requirements. We meet all of those. We had originally filed for we're going to file for a departure from design standards relating to the size of the spaces, and we withdrew that so that the size of the spaces are all 9.5 by 19. We were going to go with 9 by 18 because that's what the new zoning ordinance specifies as normal, but since we're using the old ordinance, it's 9.5 by 19. We just withdrew the departure and we're staying right with it. So basically, the only thing that we have here in front of you this evening is just the detailed site plan itself. And we meet all of the criteria set forth in the zoning ordinance 27-281, 27-274, and 27-285, which of course includes the required findings for the approval of a detailed site plan as well. We appreciate the recommendation of the Advisory Planning Board, which recommended approval to you for your consideration. And we hope that you will feel inclined to recommend approval as well to the Planning Board, and our hearing there is coming up on June 25th. We actually proposed, when we were before the Advisory Planning Board, having that pedestrian connection between this lot and immediately north of the lot is an inline retail building. And so we're going to have a pedestrian connection between the two. And since there is a wetland area that separates the two lots, we will have a pedestrian bridge that we will build that will allow for the connection between the two. So we're pretty excited about how that might work as well. And I think that's basically all the information that's relevant and which concerns this case. And so I'll be happy to answer any questions anyone may have. And we would respectfully request your favorable recommendation for this detailed site plan as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I will begin on my right if we have any questions from any of my council colleagues on my right.
I was just trying to figure out.
In fact, there is. You know, when we filed the detailed site plan, we didn't have any outdoor seating on the plan originally. And we had meetings with staff at Park and Planning. And in one of those meetings, the urban design supervisor, Ho-Jean Garland, suggested to us that we add outdoor seating to the restaurant. And that would be on the front or the east side of the building, immediately facing St. Lola Lane, the main spine road running through the project. And we thought, quite frankly, that was a great idea, particularly given the proximity of the restaurant to the residential component, which is directly across St. Lola Lane. And so we agreed to incorporate that. And I think it actually is shown on the rendering that you have, if I'm not mistaken. If, I don't, but there's some seating shown in the front of the building.
Yeah, right in this area.
Right, and so we have committed to that. And quite frankly, if it was your inclination, I would say that it would make sense for perhaps you to add that as a condition so that it's reflected in your action as well. But we're fully committed to provide that.
Okay, great. And just for clarity, this was rezoned for CSC, correct?
It was CSC under the old zoning ordinance, and then under the new zoning ordinance, it's CGO.
Okay.
Okay, and CGO is a lot like the old MXT used to be. It allows a mix of commercial and residential uses. And so this proposed use would be permitted under both zones.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, council member. Turning my left, council member Ndebumadu and then Brady.
Thank you so much, Mayor, staff, Mr. Gibbs. It's great to see you as
Very
always.
nice to see you as well.
Thanks for being here this evening. Let me start by clarifying. The gentleman that you introduced first, he is the owner / applicant, right?
That's the owner of the business, correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chesley, Green Branch LLC will continue to own the lot.
Okay.
And Mr. Lander will be leasing the lot, but will own the building.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, let me start with my remarks, and then I have 3 questions for you. I do appreciate the demonstration of architectural articulation, transparency, and material composition that contributes positively to the public realm. In reviewing the Mitchellville Area Master Plan, it emphasizes creating attractive gateway corridors, strengthening the visual quality of commercial development, and establishing a built environment that ages well over time. And I do believe that, in my view, this proposal does advance those objectives. So I do appreciate the thought and the effort that was put into that. My 3 questions, starting with the first one. I'm always going to ask these questions, so I just want to prepare you. Are there opportunities to enhance landscaping, shade trees, or seasonal plantings along the frontage?
Well, that's a little bit beyond I can't make those commitments. I can ask, I think the best person to ask is Tim Longfellow, who's the civil engineer. Why don't you come up here, Tim?
Hi, good evening. Tim Longfellow with GLW. For the record, I'm not a landscape architect. I'm the civil engineer. But yes, we have some stormwater facilities, a micro bioretention facility that's along the frontage there. So it will be heavily landscaped. If there were particular landscape materials that you would be interested in, we could certainly, move those into the technical permit drawings. Be happy to do that.
Thank you. None specifically at this time. I just want to make sure that we are focusing on the attractiveness of the building and strengthening any type of visual quality that could be added there just by different plantings that are seasonal and things like that.
Absolutely.
Then the second question, this possibly could go for you, since my colleague asked the one about seating outdoor. Has there been any, and it might not apply, I don't know how the structure of the buildings next to each other work, but has there been any consideration given to incorporating local art, community branding, or placemaking elements into the site?
The only thing that we've entertained at this point has been the outdoor seating additions, just to enhance the pedestrian activity along there. I'm not sure about public art or anything of that nature.
I think that's a question for Mr. Lander. I think that would include certainly inside the restaurant as well, I guess, as outside.
Yeah, is there an opportunity for that? For us, as we continue to talk about economic development, I want to be consistent in my my approach here, and placemaking is a really big deal based off of every presentation that we've gotten here in the city. So just want to make sure I'm inquiring about that.
Sure. So some of the things we do in our more urban outlets, like in Bethesda and other places, is, you know, if there's a transformer outside, we can have an artist come in and decorate that. We can do a mural on the side of a building. So we're open to any of those types of ideas. Well, we do that all the time.
Love that. Thank you. Can I get just a action item for staff, if we can connect this gentleman to our arts committee or whatever, or Lori Cunningham, whoever the appropriate contact would be there, to see if there are any opportunities in alignment there? That would be awesome. And then the last question is, this probably is going to be for the owner as well. As you become part of the community, are there opportunities for partnerships with local schools, nonprofits, or community events?
Absolutely. We work with schools. We do a lot of fundraising, contributions, donations. We participate in, local town events. So we're looking forward to that and coming to this community.
Awesome, thank you. Just adding to my last action item for staff, maybe just connect with Lori and him on all of that would be great. All right, thank you. Those are my questions.
Thank you, Councilmember Brady.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Gibbs, welcome back.
It's always good to be here. Thank you.
Many times we've sat across each other.
Indeed we have. Indeed we have. It's a pleasure to come here, always.
And before I begin my comments, I need to, since I did not get a chance to formally file it, but I received a call from Mr. Chesley 10 days ago, and we talked about this coming up. And it was a very cordial and very friendly conversation. He asked me for nothing, and I offered nothing in exchange. But I would say about 85% of our conversation was anything other than this application. But I needed to go on the record to let my colleagues know that. My computer shut down. 1 second. A couple of questions. There was a comment made about 60-degree angle parking, and that would kind of control the traffic around. Believe me, drivers don't necessarily care about that. And I've seen people backing into 60-degree parking spots. So there's going to be a challenge to make sure that you don't have someone go in the opposite direction. And then the one comment that one suggestion I would make, as you're coming around after the pickup at the drive-through, if you had facing towards the entranceway, the do not enter that you typically see on roadways, that would at least discourage and give them an idea that it is in fact one way. And over time, those arrows are going to start to fade until they get repainted. So that might be a little bit of a help with making sure that we go around. Now, I noticed in the original document at the beginning of this whole package, it says Arby's eating and drinking establishment. Am I assuming that Arby's going to be serving alcohol?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was a clarification, because it went into another one. You only have 21 parking spaces, and anyone who's gone into an eating and drinking establishment.
They might be staying for a while.
Exactly. So
I understand. No alcohol.
You knew where I was going. Good.
Sir.
Good. Is this too early to have designated on the drawing where handicap parking spots are?
No, absolutely. They're on here already, and they're
Okay.
close to the restaurant entrance.
Yeah, if I could zoom in, I could show you, but as you enter, as you approach where the drive-through lane would start, there's designated handicap spaces right there.
On either side of the wide hash-marked walk area? Okay.
That's the access aisle.
Okay, because it's not indicated there, that's why I wanted to ask. At least not on the drawing I'm looking
On
at.
the color drawing, it should be on the actual black and white site plan sheet.
On the site plan that was filed, it's shown.
Okay, and that's the last issue I had. Looking forward to you joining our community, so thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Gibbs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Mayor Pro Tem Wolfley.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Good to see you again, and thank you. Welcome for the applicant as well. Just a couple of follow-up questions. So the road improvement work, when is all of the road improvement work going to be completed to include the right in, right out? The last time I drove by, it was not yet operational. Maybe it is now, as well as all the improvements on the highway that you folks are making.
Right. I'd call for Mr. Chesley on that one, but I think the right in, right out is operational now, isn't it?
It is, I'd say about 4 weeks.
Okay. We have, of course, the internal roads being all private, all have to be completed for access to the residential component. St. Lola Lane, of course, is the main spine road. All those are being built contemporaneous with the development they provide access for. Out on 301, we actually donated extra right-of-way out there, which is turning out not to be needed. But we donated it, and there may be an opportunity to get some of that back because State Highway Administration simply doesn't need it. We have asked for some consideration for the return of that property, and that has not yet been concluded. So we don't know if that's going to happen. But we also had a pedestrian crossing at the intersection of Mill Branch Road and US 301, and I think that is in, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
The pedestrian crossing at 301 and Mill Branch Road?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
coming too.
Okay. It's not completed yet?
It's not in yet.
Okay. Do we have a timeline for that? I think that's really what the question is.
I can't tell you just sitting here what the timeline is for that, but it's going to be like all the other roads will be completed probably in like 4 weeks, and that won't be much beyond that. And that also, there's some additional signaling that has to be installed to make that pedestrian work.
You mean signal modification at Mill Branch Road and 301. So all that is in process, I guess, is what Mr. Chesley was saying. The internal roads are well underway and are all going to be available contemporaneous with the opening of the commercial uses. And of course, the internal private roads for the townhouses are quite frankly, just about finished at this point in time.
Excellent, thank you. For those at home that couldn't hear Mr. Chesley, he's indicating about 4 weeks.
That is correct.
For completion on that, which is, I know a lot of people waiting for that, so thank you for the updates there. The inline stores next to it, are they complementary? What are the, do you have residents yet, or excuse me, tenants for that?
Again, I'm not involved in the leasing effort. I'd have to defer to Mr. Chesley. There's an inline building immediately north of where this use will go.
Yes, it's coming along about the same time as the other buildings there. Were you asking were some of the users going to be?
What type of uses are there for that? Is it going to be food oriented, or is it going to be other type of retail?
There's food and urgent care. A substantial urgent care will go in there, and there's a Dunkin' Donut going there, which the community is pretty happy about.
Excellent. And on the other side of the property, which if you're facing it would be to the left or to the south side of the property, do we have uses for that? And is there any connectivity plan between that parcel and this one?
There's a planned grocery store to be further to the south from our planned Arby's. And there's interest in the 3 other pads there, but we do not have agreements yet.
So I assume there'll be a couple pads to the south and then the grocers further south, correct?
Yeah, you'll have the inline building. We presume Arby's, then the grocery store, and then there's 3 additional uses that can
further
go
south.
there.
Gotcha.
That's correct.
Excellent. Thank you. So it sounds like you're putting in place a collection here on one side, and presumably there'll be some pedestrian cross ways to go over. Maybe, I don't know if it's as necessary for the grocery, but you obviously have it going to inline, so I think that's good. Are there going to be any crossings for street crossing on St. How about St. something? St. Lola. That's it. On the other side, are there going to be crosswalks across? Because that's the residential area, right?
Yes, Lola Lane separates the commercial from the residential areas.
Okay. So will there be crosswalks between the Arby's side and the residential, or is there street entrance going to be nearby there?
I think there'll be markings, but right now, without looking at the plans myself, I can't recall. I'm sorry, but I could get that answer for you.
Okay. Yeah. What I'm looking for is I'm hoping that when it's all said and done, and I'm sure you're looking for the same thing, is that you have a walkable community from folks who are living across the street that have ready access to the inline stores and or the Arby's and the grocers in a safe manner, that have crosswalks and sidewalks that are fully developed and in place for that.
Yes, and hiker-biker trails and so forth. Yes,
Lovely.
exactly right.
Excellent, thank you. Signage for the restaurant, for the Arby's, is that going to be on building or freestanding?
Only on the building. There are pylon signs that will list the commercial uses in the project out on 301.
Excellent. All right, thank you. Assuming all goes well, timing for usage or opening?
For which?
For the Arby's.
It's a long process.
Yes.
This is 23 years at this so far. My goal is to make it to the end. It's going to be close. Your question, though, was?
Yeah, just on the Arby's, and you're thinking spring?
Time-wise?
Spring to midsummer of 2027 for completion of the building and opening.
Okay, so it's
Per Mr. Lander.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised when we get to a permit.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your being here this evening, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here as well. And thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Thanks for the information.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I'd also say on the signage, when the original overall detailed site plan was approved, DSP 20003, the very first one, we had 3 pylon signs that were approved, meaning freestanding signs 25 feet in height. They're all identical, and they are all going to be along the US 301 frontage, one at the intersection of Mill Branch Road and 301, the other at the right in, right out on 301, and then the third one is going to be generally in the middle. I think it's going to be on Outlot 8 in the middle of the 2. So those were already approved, not just their design was approved, it was shown on the approved site plan, and all 3 are identical. And then there are also 3 what staff called freestanding signs, which are internal. They're 8 feet in height. And one will be on the multifamily site, and the other 2 will be on either end of the townhouse site to provide sort of information for how to get into those parts of the overall development. So, and that's it for the freestanding. There'll be some little directional signs that are maybe 3 feet tall, but for major signage, that's it. Everybody else is going to be having building signs.
Excellent, thank you.
Councilmember Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was bypassed before because I was trying to figure out which side was north and which was south, and I'm straight on that now. I just have a real simple question. Is there a bike rack in here somewhere?
I think there is. Yeah, we have a bike rack on site, don't we? Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
we do. Yeah.
Thank you. That's my only question. Thank you very much.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Quick follow-up question. Are there charging stations anywhere in the property? High-speed charging?
Yeah, I don't think on this one.
No, and I don't expect it to be on this one. I just mean adjacent, nearby, and...
I don't know. I honestly, that's a very good question. And I don't, quite frankly, I think there will be, there should be, but I can't answer the question as to whether or not they're actually proposed at this point in time. But there should be probably. You would probably want to have some of those charging stations available. I would say most definitely there will be in the multifamily component, and probably in some of the townhomes, but most multifamily buildings all have charging stations these days.
Yeah, well, if I know I've heard some pleas and cries for Tesla-specific charging stations. I know that's a tough ask because they have their requirements, and they're looking for certain requirements. But we are next to or fairly close to the Route 50 interchange, so maybe that's something up there that they might consider. Given the proximity, there might be some interest, and there is a lot more north-south traffic on that 3301 corridor that maybe perhaps they could fill in a spot in their otherwise empty slate in the Bowie area. So if you wouldn't mind reaching out to them, great. I'm not sure that would if it falls into their plans. But
okay, we'll make a note of that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, one question, because I thought I saw charging stations at some dash ins as well. I don't know if they're at that one or not. Okay.
No, I think.
They're dashing.
I think there may be.
Yeah, that's where I think
Well, I tell you what I'll do. We will check on that and get back in touch with your staff so that they can provide that information.
I'd be, that whole corridor 5301, I talked to someone that owns the Chick-fil-A, and they said they have the busiest Chick-fil-A on the East Coast. I'd be concerned about putting too many amenities that the public can just come in and use in a residential community. Because you don't want people coming off of 5301 to come in and charge and then move on.
No.
You want it for your community.
Correct.
So.
That's correct. And when I mentioned the multifamily usually multifamily buildings have charging stations, but they're restricted to their tenants.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any other questions? Round 2. All right. Thank you for the presentation, gentlemen. This is open to a public hearing and eligible for action. Madam City Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
No, Mayor, there's no one signed up and no comments were received via email.
Sounds good. I will consider the public hearing closed. This is eligible for action. Do I have a motion on DSP 2025? 2026. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
2026. Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for the detailed site plan for DSP 2026. And for the proposed RBs and at Mill Branch, along with the recommendation for outdoor seating and incorporate cooperated into the site design.
Mr. Mayor,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
it's the DSP 2025, not 2026.
With the recommendations from staff.
With the recommendation from staff for outdoor seating.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Passed unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right, it's late, but we got there, right motion?
And Mr. Mayor, just as a personal side, it looks like there's a charging station across the street, but not yet at the one at the dash-in.
Good to know. Dash-in will get us our electric charging. I'm going to move us now to adoption of resolution R-50-26. This is the annual action plan and proposed projects of community development block grant program. I'm going to turn this over to staff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me. Good evening. My name is Kay Starr. I'm the grant writer for the City of Bowie. I do have a presentation. If we could get it on the screen, it's on this computer.
No, okay.
There we go. Thank you. So I'm presenting tonight on the annual action plan for our community development block grant program for the City of Bowie. This program is operated by the Office of Grant Development and Administration. This is just a sample of some of the work that we do on behalf of the city. We do grant writing and research for grant opportunities to fund city priorities and projects. If we're awarded those grants, we manage those funds, and oftentimes we also manage the programs associated with them because our office has the expertise to administer these programs. We also, as I mentioned, administer other grants on behalf of the city. Most acutely right now, we're working on several different grants from the EPA to make improvements to the city water system. And we also work with the state and the county, as well as foundations, to try and find grant opportunities that match with city priorities. This is just a sample of some of the kind of grants that we've managed for the city. So tonight I'm presenting about the Community Development Block Grant Program, or CDBG. This is a grant that we've received from HUD for the past more than 15 years now. The CDBG program was actually founded during the Nixon administration. It's over 50 years old. And the priorities of this program are to develop viable urban communities, provide decent housing, expand economic opportunities, and address at least one of the national objectives as defined by HUD. The national objectives include benefiting lower moderate income persons, or LMI, eliminating slums and blight, and fulfilling an urgent community need. Eligible activities include a variety of different projects and programs: acquisition, demolition, and rehabilitation of real property, construction of public facilities, providing public services, providing assistance to community-based development organizations and economic development, as well as focus on future planning and administration for the program. We are actually in the fourth, going on fifth year of our consolidated plan for the CDBG program. The program is administered in 5-year increments, and every 5 years we create a new consolidated plan with feedback and input from residents as well as from staff and city council. We will be starting on that initiative again next year. So I've been here for almost 2 full cycles of the CDBG program with the City of Bowie. The consolidated planning process includes a needs assessment where we look at the housing options in the city, the human services and nonprofit sector available, as well as non-housing community development. And we also include an estimated cost of what our 5-year strategy will be. We identify goals and objectives for those 5 years, as well as performance measures. And finally, we also develop an annual action plan every year, which is created annually to summarize what we're going to do in that year, drawing on the goals and objectives that were identified in the con plan and what the performance measures are going to be for those activities. That's the plan I'm presenting tonight. And then at the end of every year, we also create what's called the CAPER, the Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, which is demonstrating what we actually were able to do and what challenges or issues arose over the year and what our deliverables were. The citizen participation process, as I mentioned, includes a lot of feedback from residents. We do a survey.
Pardon me for a quick moment.
Yes.
I'm getting some comments from viewers at home.
Yes.
And they're having a little difficulty hearing you.
Okay.
I don't know if that's on the back end or
I can lean in closer to the microphone. Is
maybe
that
so.
better?
Give it a whirl and we'll see how it goes.
I apologize for our online viewers. Sorry if you were not able to hear me. I hope it's better now. So again, the citizen participation process includes surveys and outreach to residents. We also provide access to all CDBG documents on an ongoing basis, both on the city website and also paper copies are available at the front desk of City Hall. And we encourage residents at any time to attend our public hearings or presentations about the CDBG program. I held 2 public hearings on the annual action plan back in April, and I'm presenting it tonight, which is our 3rd public hearing. The 5-year plan priorities that we identified in the current con plan include the continuation of our single-family home rehabilitation program, our workforce development activities, as well as our fair housing education. The housing rehabilitation program is eligible and open to all residents. We do target and prioritize seniors and first responders for that program, but it is open to all city residents that meet the income and residency requirements. HUD has determined seniors are a presumptive low and moderate income population, and as you know, the city of Bowie has a significant senior population who is aging in place here. And also based on the con plan survey data analysis, we determined there was no particular priority need based on race, ethnicity, or gender. Sometimes when looking at census data, you can identify certain areas that have particularly disadvantaged demographics, but that's not the case in the city of Bowie. We also have community partnerships that we are able to leverage in administering the CDBG program. At times, that's also included the Bowie Interfaith Food Pantry at the Kenhill Center. We often work with them on their emergency fund to provide assistance to residents. And we also have been able to leverage funds from the Maryland DHCD, Department of Housing and Community Development, including their weatherization assistance programs and occasionally community legacy funds.
Pardon me again.
Yes.
I'll turn to Mr. City Manager. This time I know it's not you. Apparently when we switched over to the presentation, all audio dropped off online. So I don't know if that's something that our gentlemen behind in the control room have any access to troubleshoot.
Improvements to City of Bowie homes for City of Bowie homeowners. The income limit is determined by HUD, and we publish a chart on the city website showing what they are based on household size. And these funds can be used for a variety of home improvement purposes, including improved weatherization, updating doors and windows, upgrading appliances, improving roofs, insulation, a variety of home improvements. So not only are the homes improved for the homeowners, but it also improves the City of Bowie housing stock overall. This has been consistently one of our most popular programs. We get inquiries pretty frequently from residents wondering when it's going to open, if they're eligible, and we've been able to renovate hundreds of Bowie homes with these funds over the past 15 years. Here's just a little chart showing how much energy costs can be lost through bad insulation and other improvements that this program helps homeowners to acquire. Our second program is, again, a continuation of our workforce development activities. We have been able to leverage these programs into expanding to open a workforce development center at the Kenhill Center. That opened last November and has been in continuous operation since. It's like a library. You can drop in during our operating hours, which are available online. We're open Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 3 to 7 and Thursdays from 12 to 4. And we provide connections to Employ Prince George's. They have an online portal for residents where you can access training programs, look into job postings, look at their various different support services for job seekers, including resume and interview support. We also work to organize events for local job seekers in cooperation with other agencies here at the City of Bowie. And we have been hosting our workforce development programming, or will be hosting it out of the center as well. And the idea with our programming is to educate the public, especially young job seekers, about a variety of different career paths and options that are open to them, leading to sustainable careers, especially in science, technology, engineering, and math industries. And this is, sorry, a summary of the Workforce Training Center info that I just said. This is part of the network of the American Job Center Community Network, and there are a variety of different locations around the county. These are available to all job seekers in Prince George's County, totally free of charge. And then our third program is our fair housing education, which we undertake every April and also on an ongoing basis online. We hosted our fair housing symposium this past April, and we have been reaching out to other municipalities in the county to educate their staff on changes in fair housing enforcement and law, as well as making sure that Bowie City staff, code enforcement, and law enforcement understand the different areas of law that are covered here. This is the implementation schedule the development schedule for the annual action plan. As I mentioned, we held 2 public hearings in April. They were in-person and online hybrid. We did have people who attended online and asked questions, and I really appreciate everyone who came. The annual action plan draft was available in hard copy and online throughout March and April, and now we're presenting it this evening to you, and we will incorporate any comments from the public hearings in the final draft, which will be submitted to HUD after it's approved. I'm now going to pause for questions or comments from the council.
Turning to my left first, anything from any of my colleagues on my left? Anything from any of my colleagues on my right? Hearing nothing from Councilmember Truesdale. All right, please continue.
All right, this concludes my presentation, and now I believe we have a public hearing vote.
Wonderful. Anyone signed up to speak, Madam City Clerk?
No, Mayor, no one has signed up and no comments were received.
Thank you.
13, the City Council established the Bowie Economic Development Incentive Fund to provide a tool to offer incentives to entice desirable commercial development, to retain businesses, or to attract businesses. Bowie Legacy Holdings, LLC, which is the new owner of the 4 main retail buildings at Bowie Town Center, approached the city for assistance in landing their first new tenant. They are working a deal to land Paris Baguette. It will replace the Panera that is currently located there. The Panera's lease expires here shortly. The goals that will be achieved by this incentive are to jumpstart the revitalization of Bowie Town Center and to encourage the ownership to invest heavily in the maintenance, the repair, and the physical improvement of the property. The incentive proposed is $150,000 to be paid in 3 increments. The first $50,000 increment would be paid upon receipt by the city of the signed lease with Paris Baguette. The second $50,000 would be payable upon receipt and approval by the city of a plan for the landscape cleanup and replacement, a plan for repair of the potholes, a plan for the repair of the sidewalk, and a plan for facade improvements. The third and final payment of $50,000 would be paid upon the opening of the Paris Baguette at Bowie Town Center. Staff recommends that Council approve Resolution 56-26.
Thank you, staff. Any questions from any of my colleagues? None on my left, none on my right? Okay. I will summarize. So Panera Bread is on their way out. This is Paris Baguette. Mr. King, how would you describe Paris Baguette as it rates in the ranking of kind of business quality?
Paris Baguette right now is a very desirable bakery / coffee shop offering. The nearest one to us currently is Annapolis. It's doing extremely well according to both resident and landlord reports there. Paris Baguette has often been mentioned by folks who follow the new and exciting franchises as something that they'd like to see here in Bowie.
Understood. So just for the public's awareness, several of us had the opportunity to visit different, look at and explore our neighboring Paris Baguette, and it is definitely kind of next here. So this is definitely a significant improvement for the town center, and I think absolutely something that we want to see that's moving us in the right direction, along with actual physical improvements to the town center themselves. So I think this is a great proposal. With no other thoughts from any of my colleagues, I will ask if there is a motion. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do we have a public hearing on this, or is this simply eligible for action?
Just eligible for action, Mayor.
Wonderful. That being said, I will ask if there is a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move for adoption of Resolution R-56-26.
I hear a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Passed unanimously. All right, that is it for new business. So my colleagues are aware, I was informed during the meeting that we are going to have to postpone tonight's closed session. So with that, we will move to adjournment, and I will follow up with folks offline related to the closed session item tonight. We'll see if we can get that rescheduled post haste. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move for adjournment.
Second.
I hear a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Man, that's a lot of unanimous motions tonight, folks. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you, staff. Thank you, guests. Oh, this is our only meeting in June. For those following at home, our next meeting will be on July 6th. Happy 4th of July, everyone.